decided that he had had enough of the evil being around. And he's like nothing can exist in my kingdom that is not love. And so slowly all of the evil got like coagulated into a big giant blob as it was making its way out of the kingdom by the power of the creed. But then some little jackass kid saw the big blob of evil and was like, I'll love you. And so all of that evil was going to go into the child. And everybody thought that would be a terrible idea, to have it all concentrated into one kid. So they decided that they'd all love it a little.
Was because they listened intently to the sermon every week and had small quibbles. And they discussed their quibbles over lunch right after church. And so I listened to them hear the word of God from the man of God, and, you know, not just kind of let it wash over them like everything he said was true, but they tested the spirits. And sometimes they definitely fell into probably like gossiping or judging. I'm sure, like, of course they made mistakes and went too far. There are, they have personality foibles that can get carried away. But like all that to say, that was where the kind of perhaps skepticism, healthy or not, was inculcated for me. But obviously you can see how that would be wrapped up in issues of authority, which I don't know, now that I'm thinking about it, does that get back to the kind of, is that why the unconditional trust is connected to the unconditional respect in some weird way? That kind of authority structure. I did when I was a young man, I kind of thought that like all truth was based on authority, because you had to, in order for trust to be, or forever, in order for you to hear something and trust it, you had to trust the person that was giving it to you. And the best way to trust somebody is for them to be an authority over you, because they're kind of, you're entrusted to them. You know, on a little play on words, you're entrusted to them, so you trust them. But yeah, now I give a little bit more agency to the individual and a little bit more variety to the human population about how they, you know, behave in those types of relationships. But I think the truth still, like, I think that there's still a nugget in there that might be helpful for your problem, Af, which is to say, I don't think you teach a healthy skepticism with something that's like not on the same level of importance or truth or reality. You know, like you teach that healthy skepticism with like the most important things in life, which are, you know, for my family in that context was, you know, the word of God given by the man of God on Sunday. So, yeah.
Good evening, Embody. Malcolm, Afriel here. We hope you're feeling virtually not alone. And tonight we're going to talk about formless transforms, or something that kind of came to me. Ron sent me a video of Mathieu Peugeot recently, and there was some stuff that he talked about that I pretty strongly disagree with, but for I hope productive. Like I hope I can give productive disagreement. That's what I'm getting at. So this game is called Opus Magnum, and it is very much an autism simulator. The idea is we're going to go into various scenarios. We're going to have products that we have to generate from reagents that were provided. And then there's various ways that those reagents can be transformed and combined. And then we have to place and program various arms, either static length arms of 1, 2, or 3 length, or piston arms that can extend and retract. And then there's also tracks, so you can have some track that one of the arms is on and it can move along the track. And then so you can either combine 2 glyphs together, combine a bunch together, and so anytime that any 2 would land on these, then they would bind together. This one splits them apart, and this one turns any of the 4 earth, water, air, fire elements into salt, which is this little theta looking thing. And then this guy is a glyph of animismus, which takes 2 salts and produces what are the names of those compounds? Let's see. Vitae and mors. So life and death. And so what we're trying to produce currently is invisible ink. So we need to produce equal parts of this kind, these 2 products using all the stuff we have available to us. So, and it's like when I was first playing levels in this game, I was trying to do like optimizations for because there's 3 ways that things are scored, which it is actually in the bottom, isn't it? Yep. So cost, cycles, and area. So cost is like see the cost at the bottom right of each of these. So one of these arms costs 20 gold no matter how long you make it. One of these costs 30 no matter how long you make it. Another 30, another 30. And the piston arm costs 40. A track costs 5 per length, so this would be a 20 cost track. A simple binder is 10, a tri-binder is 30, a splitter is 10, a salter is 10, a animismus is 20, and then this is just decoration. So whatever you create, it adds all that together, and then that's your score, is how much it cost you to create a mechanism that takes these reagents and produces these products. Now, in addition to cost, there's also cycles. So we're going to input different commands for these different arms, and they're going to have whatever movement that they have. And yeah, so you have to produce 6 of each of these products, and then as soon as that's done, then the number of cycles that takes, that's whatever the score is for that. And then area is, so if I have an arm like this and it moves all the way around, that's 7 tiles. So that counts for 7. So, and the problem is that if you extend it out, so if it swings to here, not only is it covering all of these tiles in that triangle, it's also hitting these 2 here. Which also matters because if I have 2 glass beads and this one moves to here, then these 2 collide, and they're not allowed to collide. Nor are the glass allowed to collide with the base of one of the arms. It can collide with the grabbers, that's fine, but it can't collide with the base. And that's the gist of what the game is. I figured I'd just take a little bit of time to explain it so that way whoever is tuning in doesn't have or knows at least something of what's going on as I'm monologuing. Ron should be joining me here in like 20 minutes, but we'll see. Alright. And it is actually going to be really hard for me to monologue while playing this because it's a very heavy thinking game. But I will try. So I was watching, kind of at Ron's request, Mathieu Peugeot had a recent conversation where he was talking with a gentleman about some of his ideas with like form and formlessness. Hi, Mark. What's what she said? I don't even know what I said that could be a that's what she said there. But yeah, so he was talking through a bunch of stuff as far as form and formlessness with like his ideas with the Garden of Eden and with how the snake and Eve both have a sort of formlessness to them. And actually, I'm gonna get my phone out for this because I had a couple of like general notes to Ron, and I think I also sent some stuff to Grizz too. There might not be too much gameplay for the first part here until somebody else hops on. Which, Mark, you are welcome to join me if you would like. Oh, yeah, actually, that warrants me looking something up. So, I think it was Aquinas. Evil is a lack of good. There's a particular Latin phrase that I'm trying to... The privation theory of evil. Privation theory of evil. Aquinas. Latin. Privatio boni. Privation of the good. I strongly disagree with that assessment. I think that there... And like part of that too ties in with what Mathieu is talking about, because I think that he's still kind of operating under that assumption. Because one of his thoughts was that one of the main, and he's not wrong about this, by the way. One of the main ways to test the spirits, to tell whether they're evil, is to just pause and just like see how they react to pause, because there's a lot of undisciplined evil in the world that will just start freaking out at you of like, why aren't you complying with the thing that I want you to do? Like, that is absolutely a very powerful way of doing it. But the thing that I would counter with is that there are absolutely... that's okay, Mark. No worries. I just figured I'd give you the offer. That there are much more disciplined forms of evil. That it's not just... I cannot talk and alchemize at the same time. If I had somebody else here and I didn't have to be formulating things independently, so if you want me to start alchemizing, you're welcome to hop on. But I just want to at least get the ball rolling, because this stuff, like, once I get the ball rolling, I think I can probably play and talk at the same time. Disciplined evil. So the cosmology that I ascribe to is one that very much contradicts Privatio Boni, which is that it's not up and down, it's up and right, up and left, and down. So what I mean with that is, if you are engaging in service to others, then you are moving up and right, and you are pulling up from below as you move up and right. If you are serving yourself, or engaging in service to self, you are moving up and left and pushing down. And then succumbing to vices, engaging in that kind of evil, that privatio boni, that is falling back into animalness. So, yes, it's not good to fall back into your animal, baser natures, but there is a much darker, purer form of evil that is much more deliberate and much more disciplined, that is not so easy to recognize by just, oh yeah, just pause for a second and see how it reacts. Doesn't always work. The other main thing, and kind of the impetus for the stream title, and because Ron wanted to talk a little bit about, actually, you know, I'll hold off on that part, because I specifically wanted to stream because Ron had questions about what I meant by that, and that was kind of the impetus for the stream title. But the stuff that I was talking with Grizz about, so, man, I'm trying to think of how I can, because it was very much, like, Grizz shared something with me that got me into very stream of consciousness mode, and so I think I'm just going to, like, share the ideas as they came to me without giving too much elaboration, and then if there's anything that sparks interest in the hive mind, I'm happy to elaborate. But it doesn't, like, from what I, like, as I was listening, it was like, I don't think that, but one of the, like, it's my channel logo. The way that I have started to conceive of the Ouroboros is as a seed. And there's a lot of depth that's going on there, but I don't think that conception is something that Mathieu has even considered. And one of the ways that I can try and explain what it is that I'm getting at by that is this idea in computer programming of compiler bootstrapping. So one of the really common ways of generating compilers is by having source code that's run through an existing compiler that then generates that compiler. And so, it's a very specific kind of something called a quine, which is a program that when you pass it into a compiler reproduces itself. And usually it's like, there's the way that most people handle that, it's usually more of like a hello world type of quine program. So it's just a demonstration of proof of concept of the capacity to recursively reference the text that is being presented in that source code. So a compiler is something that is capable of doing that, but it's also capable of doing a lot more. It's capable of taking and interpreting arbitrary text into, or not arbitrary, but it's not just capable of reproducing itself. It's capable of taking a whole host of more plain language commands and turning them into fairly well optimized machine code. I might be using the wrong term there, but it hopefully is close enough that people are getting the gist. So the idea with compiler bootstrapping specifically is that you are using older versions of compilers to produce updated compilers. So you start from like the new C compiler, for instance, GCC, and you want to add some additional function to it. You want to change something about the way that it works. What you can do is you can write, or you can take the source code of the new C compiler. You can modify it however you're going to, and then you can execute that through the current new C compiler into whatever the new compiler it is that you want to have. And so you're basically generating additional functionality from the existing functionality. And sometimes you actually have to write slightly different versions of your compiler, because there's like a complex implementation that once it's incorporated into the compiler itself can be referenced in a way that's much simpler down the line. You have to give a much more explicit definition in the initial version of it that can then be referenced more simply later on. Like, say you have a function call, you can execute that function call much simpler as the versions stack up. And another way that this works too, say you want to create a completely different compiler, And that, by the way, all of this is coming from what's the guy's YouTube channel? Hang on, I need to give credit where credit is due. Because like I knew some of this, but the particular formulation and some of the details were not things that I was entirely aware of until watching this. This is YouTube.
Ruler.
Nope, that's my stream. Coding, sample. Hang on. Quine coding. I think it's TS Oding. Soding? I don't know how you pronounce it. Hang on. Yeah, I don't know how he pronounces his channel name, but TS, like coding, but you replace the C with a TS is who I'm pulling from for this. So, a lot of modern compiler languages, they are writing their compiler in another language, using that compiler to generate their compiler, and then writing the future compilers for their language in their own language, but they generate the initial compiler using a different language. Because it's way faster and easier to do that than it is to try and write all of the machine code that would be necessary from scratch to have that compiler in the first place. So that's what it's meant by bootstrapping, is you are, in a way, pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. And man, I really did have that idea already. That's interesting. So one of the next things, it seems to me that Mathieu is stuck in this mode of operating from legitimate authority and doesn't seem to have a conception of illegitimate authority. Because in his mind, transgression is always a negative. And what I have come to understand is that that's not true. Not that, like, there are certain types of transgression that are inherently negative, but the act of transgressing rules themselves is not, because there are plenty of rules and laws that are instituted that are themselves unjust, and it is definitely always a risk to take the sort of, not responsibility, but like the authority. You're taking the authority or the sovereignty onto yourself to make the judgment of whether a rule is right or not. And then when you do that, you are pitting yourself against whatever the authority is that generated that rule. And I think that part of the problem there is that his conception of evil is one of pure formlessness. He doesn't seem to have like this conception of like a lawful evil. Like, there are bindings that bad people place on others, and that other people voluntarily accept too. Like that's the one thing about like demonic contracts. Like, they're not entered into unwillingly, and that's one thing that I think a lot of people have. Like they're entered into naively. Like the person who is doing that doesn't understand what it is that they're giving up, but they are entered into willingly. Like the person gives their uninformed consent to that contract. That's the only reason that it works. Which I'm interested to see if they do anything more with that in Jujutsu Kaisen, because I've been watching that recently, much to President Foxman's applaud or approbation. One of the things that they mention is this idea of like externally imposed contracts don't really work. It has to be in something that's internally imposed, which makes a lot of sense to me, because it's very much a like it has to always be presented as an external contract, but the only way for it to actually stick is for it to be something that is internally consented to. And sometimes you forget that consent. Sometimes you forget what it was that you were, what you consented to. What else? What else? This one's kind of peripherally related, so I'll give it, and then once Ron hops on, we'll talk more. Many have been abducted into formlessness and cannot return to their true form. So are they sentenced to death? Are they sentenced to wearing the mask of their old form around those who would kill them for being a monster? I think the only way out is through. And by the way, I don't think, like, I was watching... Oh, hey, Sandy. I was watching Mathieu Peugeot's recent talk with... let me pull up. Can I drop a link to a video in a chat room? Is that something I can do? Don't go watch it right now. As tempting as it might be. Let's see. Grab this, share, copy, jump back, paste. There we go. So the other guy, I say talking with, there was not much talking on the other guy's part. It was very much a Mathieu monologue with a couple of interjections by Jack Roycroft Sherry, who is trying to imitate Chris Williamson's thumbnail patterns. I'm pretty sure that that's a way of trying to bait it out. Bait out the clicks, you know? Make people think that Mathieu Peugeot went on... Yeah, I haven't heard of him before. Mathieu Peugeot went on Chris Williamson? Oh my goodness! I have to watch that! It's like, wait a second. This isn't Chris Williamson. Well, I've already clicked onto the video anyway. Might as well watch, because I do like Mathieu, and I think he has some useful stuff to say. You know, just playing the internet games, you know. What else? What else? So, this is kind of spoiling a little bit a future stream I want to do. I recently picked up a motorcycle, a KLR 650. And one of the main things that's recommended with getting a KLR is to replace a component on it that is, it's called, I shit you not, a doohickey. It is a small metal, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a metal cylinder with a, like a rocker on it. And it's used to hold the chain tension, for part of the motor. But the way that they designed it is there's a spring that loses tension pretty easily, and the piece itself, because it's made out of like a stamped pressed piece of metal, tends to fail. And so there's a lot of like aftermarket parts, aftermarket recommendations to replace it. And so a future stream is going to be Zen and the art of doohickey replacement. So I've had motorcycle maintenance on the mind a bit for personal reasons, and then also watching Sevilla King's series, which has been very good. She has a lot of really good commentary on that. I would love to talk to her about it if I can. I don't know how to approach her in a way that doesn't make me come off like a weird, awkward doobler, but, you know, it'd be fun. Yes, it's really called a doohickey. Like, I'm not kidding. And yeah, Baxter getting a motorcycle channel buddy. Like, I think that there was some rumor that I heard about, I think it was Rick, one of PVK's main buddies, wanted to do like a motorcycle rally as part of the estuary conference down in Sacramento coming up in October, and I wanted to be able to ride down the 101 to do that, but I don't think it's going to work out in terms of timing. I have a bunch of other obligations in October, so if I do go to the Sacramento estuary, I'm probably going to have to fly down. Why do you want to mask your weird doobly nature? It's not that. It's that I don't want to... Okay, Grizz, when I first emailed you, did you think I was a Fed? We'll put it that way. I tend to appear in ways that are intensely off-putting to people without meaning to. So that's more what I'm getting at with that. He does a lot of prophecy in that. Those weren't interjections. I will have to listen more carefully then. I still have a little bit of the video. I don't know if I'm going to go back and listen to it again. I heard it. Most of what I heard from him was glazing. So maybe I was not listening closely enough. But anyway. So motorcycle maintenance. One of the things that I was thinking as I was watching the Two's video was this engine maintenance is going through formlessness for refreshment. Because it's one of the things he's talking about with Eve is this idea of like the idea of cleaning yourself, of washing yourself. That is in some sense going through formlessness, but to refresh, to bring you back to your proper state, your proper form. And so just regular engine maintenance, like changing the oil or whatever, that is exactly what he's talking about. But what about something where you are deliberately replacing... Howdy, Ron, there he is. What about something where you are deliberately replacing an OEM part of the motorcycle with something that is aftermarket because the OEM part is not adequate, is not sufficient for the job that it's supposed to do? And if you leave it, there is a very good possibility that that part is going to cause catastrophic failure. It's the hat. Is the hat doubly? But that's like, and there's a bunch of debate about that between Kawasaki mechanics versus regular riders, because there's a lot of people who just want to do their own motorcycle maintenance, and so they open it up and they're like, oh my gosh, my doohickey was failing and I'm glad that I replaced it. And then there's a lot of Kawasaki mechanics who are like, this thing's fine, I don't know what everybody's making such a big deal about. But apparently there have been enough failures and enough like concerns about the like what people find when they open their bike up that it's a genuine concern that the original configuration, the form of the motorcycle, is inadequate. And so there's a need to go through the formlessness of taking off the gear casing, taking off at least 2 gaskets worth of components, replacing a part inside of this with something that is not approved by the manufacturer, and that makes it work better, or at least makes it not fail. So the important thing, one of the important things to take from that, though, is this idea of slow, small, subtle changes. Like, I'm not creating a whole new engine with that maintenance job. You have to very carefully constrain how much you are allowing formlessness to change at any given single time. Because if it changes too much, it will break the whole thing. And it's actually a really significant hazard, too, because formlessness has a tendency to creep in unexpectedly. Like, one of the dangers of me taking apart the gear casing is what happens when the worth of your motorcycle becomes the worth of a single bolt. What happens when you shear off a head and you can't get the thing out anymore, and so now you have to go through the arduous process of tapping out whatever it was that you got stuck. And that's the only way that you can get it fixed. And what do you do when that happens? Do you just rage against it? Do you just get angry and just and break things, or do you realize that that's part of reality and that you need to appropriately negotiate with it? I would say negotiation is probably the better approach, but I don't know. I'm open to suggestions. I'm open to comment. Which, by the way, Ron, anytime you want to jump in, you are more than welcome to. If you've been on the gaming couch this entire time, and I've just been yapping away. I'm so sorry.
I like your yapping. I've missed your yapping.
Oh,
I'm
man.
glad you're yapping.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I need to get up to speed anyhow. You
Okay.
know, I mean, I need to listen before I yap.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's Theseus boat. I'm going to botch it maybe, but there's a boat.
Ship of Theseus.
Okay. I don't know if that ties in as well, but I do understand. That was funny. Like the price of my motorcycle is the price of this one bolt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you want to hear a funny story
Go for it.
that relates to this?
I can actually start playing the game now.
Okay. I bought a used Chevy S10 5-speed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, I've never changed my oil ever in my life. I'm like, I'm going to change the oil in my 5-speed Chevy S10.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this one bolt, and it wouldn't come out. And I pulled, and I yanked, and I'm like, something's not wrong. And I pulled with all my might. And when I pulled it, it was a very long bolt.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I pulled it out, I heard this clunking. What I pulled out was not, in fact, the oil bolt. It was the bolt that holds the transmission little doohickeys together.
Oh.
So, oh yeah.
Well,
oh yeah. The price of one bolt.
Yep.
So, didn't do that again.
Well, that's the sad thing, though, is that like it's so easy to get discouraged by an experience like that. Like,
I laughed. I mean, dude, no. Like,
well, but have you opened up? Have you done any oil changes yourself since then?
Heck no.
Well, there you go. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, no. And actually, I take it to the dealerships because I went to. It was Jiffy Lube. May they rot.
Mm-hmm. May they rot.
The guy. Oh yeah, it was. Anyhow, it was.
Ron's out here giving curses to Jiffy Lube workers.
Yeah, I'm certain. Not just certain employers.
Just certain ones. Not Jiffy Lube as a whole. Just you know who you are.
Maybe as a whole too. I don't. Listen, I'm very. Right now, I'm being kind of Balaam-esque. It's like I'm not proud. I can repent. But anyhow, it was. When you have auto mechanics, something will go wrong. It's not if. It's when, and then how bad, and then how do you deal with it? It is part of the game, I realize. But I think what the game is knowing how to address when something's broken. I mean, that's you either learn or die, or maybe I don't know. Does that make sense? What I'm getting at? Life is like that. You will have problems. Just
you
either surrender and quit, or you're like, well,
I guess I can figure it out.
Yeah, or get help. Either. But when I did construction, fencing in particular, I mean, I learned. Actually, this is where I learned. It's not if I'm going to have a problem. It's when. Like it's gonna happen, and then and then you get better at overcoming problems, and then it becomes second nature to you, so that when a problem occurs, you're like, all right, there's no reason to freak out. You just, I think what is it? Adapt, adjust, and overcome. I forget. Like it's an army saying.
Just adapt and overcome. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. It's like deal with it. All right, street lingo. Just deal with it. Quit. Suck it up. Stop crying like a baby. Deal with it. And then just don't quit. Something usually happens. You either learn which I find that actually I think that's what I needed. I needed to learn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And, you learn by not desperation, like life and death desperation, but just I need to get this done and
Mm-hmm.
what's going to get it done. And like, I'll give you a recent one.
Mm-hmm.
I bought the new laptop that you turned me on to, which I totally love.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've been using my cell phone that I'm talking to you on now
Mm-hmm.
as it was a USB tethering, and I was even able to use 2.5 gig data to tether to the laptop.
Mm-hmm.
And so that way I don't need a router at home. And it recently stopped cold.
Mm.
And I don't know why. And uh like I threw away $30 just to have Geek Squad look at everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, no, your computer's fine. So I'm like, okay, it's the phone. And I don't know if it's I don't know if the phone did some weird upgrade where they're doing some sort of throttling
Mm-hmm.
down so I can't hotspot anymore because I did it for quite a while. Or if I need to figure out some code for Windows, somehow Windows is blocking the low speed data connection.
Mm-hmm.
And I Googled like what was happening, and they gave me some command codes to enter.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm learning how to do that. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm hesitant to do it because I don't want to blow up my computer.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I don't want to just ad- admit defeat and not try.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at. So, it's maintenance, and then it's also repair of a sorts.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of going back to now, do you have a motorcycle that you're working on?
Yep. KLR 650. Picked it up a couple weeks ago.
Oh, dude, you need to send me some pictures, please.
Okay. Actually, let me do that right
No,
now.
that's
Let me do that right now.
okay. Cool. All right, a 650. Okay, not bad.
Yep.
Not bad at all.
No, it's a adventure bike. So the idea is getting it so I can ride around, like ride to and from work, and then ride around on the road a little bit, and then also eventually get out on the some of the forestry trails or forestry roads that we have out here. So
Oh, dude, is it an AT? Do they call it ATV or
uh,
um?
it's an adventure bike, so it has, and I
Yeah.
might change. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with the tires because they're a little bit nubby right now for just road riding, but I kind
Yeah.
of want to keep them that way. But maybe I change them out. I'm not quite sure.
Well,
My
I'll tell you what. If
vibrator
you're
has a
gonna,
Kickstarter. It's not a Kickstarter, Grizz. I do have to turn the choke on a little bit though.
wait, did you say his vibrator has a Kickstarter on
That's
it?
what Grizz is saying that I'm saying. And so I figured I'd throw him another bone by saying that I have
You
to turn
know,
the choke on.
this is why we can't have friends over, okay?
Because we start saying naughty things.
Just you can't have nice yeah. So, but yeah, I would have more street tires on
Mm.
than because
That's more
even
what
if
I'm
you
doing
go
for
off,
riding, so.
yeah, good. I would just keep it. I'd rather you be road safe and dirt sloppy
Hmm.
than dirt safe and road sloppy because you can be
Yep.
yeah. So all right.
Well, because most of my riding's been on the road. So I was just sending you 3 photos. One is the back when I first got it. One is the front, as I took a before picture because I just took a bunch of stuff off the front of it because I didn't like the windscreen or it had like a weird nose
Right.
thing. So I took those off today. And then the third photo. So my brother also rides a motorcycle. I don't have a good photo. I'll have to take a proper photo of that bell. Do you know what a gremlin bell is?
No. Oh, no, I don't.
So one of the sort of superstitions in motorcycling is that there are gremlins that like to get
Right.
into your machine and wreck your machine.
Right.
And
No, I
so
got that.
the what you do in order to scare the gremlins off is you have to have a bell. Gosh, are you serious? That's so annoying.
What? Did you die?
No, I didn't die, but it's like I have to slightly differently space this. Hang on.
What's the game?
It's called
I'm
Opus
driving.
Magnum. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So if I... Hang on. Just give me 1 second. Can I not space that
Sure.
back? Frack. Okay, this is going to be tedious. Um,
Is it a
it is an autism simulator where you basically you are creating mechanical proteins to produce various molecules. Is the best way I can think
wait?
of
It's
describe it.
an autism simulator?
Autism simulator.
Okay, wait a second. Now you're gonna have to help my brain because we went from proteins to autism. I'm not making the connection.
So the joke in the gaming community is that there are certain games that are very like basically you have to have autism in order to want to play them.
Oh, oh, oh. Okay. All
So
right.
that's kind of
Okay.
what this is.
Oh, okay. No, 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 no. All right. Have does this come from autistic people, by the way? That they're like, oh yeah, this is great.
I
I got
mean,
autism and
kind of. Like,
what? No, I mean it's not. I'm not being. I'm not being. You know, I'm like,
Mhm.
have you polled? You know, in the corner, I'm sure we got a
A
high.
pretty
You know, a
high,
normal
yeah,
percentage. Yeah, I was
pretty
gonna
high
say, like,
dosage of it.
guys. Yeah. So, what do you think? That's hilarious. All my autistic friends think it's great.
hmm
Okay.
And it's also kind of a
Fantastic.
play on the fact that there's a whole bunch of like simulator games on Steam, like Farming Simulator and Power Washing Simulator.
Power washing.
Like, I'm not even
Okay.
kidding. That's
All
a
right.
thing. It's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no, I get it. I get it. Okay, cool. And wait a second, I like power washing. Am I autistic?
No, but if you buy a game so that you can engage in oh, what's the Ted Kaczynski term for it? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh my! Oh no!
Yes,
Oh
it's.
no!
Hang on, I'm gonna look this up.
Oh sweet lord!
I'm gonna
We're
look this
not
up.
Ted Kaczynskiing it. We went now.
Hey, he's got
Great. So
some
we
good
got
points. I'm not saying people should go out and send letter bombs to university
Right.
professors, but that doesn't mean that he didn't have some good points in his manifesto.
Oh my gosh! Manifesting Ted
Term
Kaczynski.
for what's the what's
Oh,
imitative behavior? Maybe that'll bring it up. I'm trying to remember. It wasn't over socialization. There's a term and I cannot remember it, and it's probably going to take it. Claude would probably
right.
know. But anyway, this idea that like we're engaging in behaviors that are um basically imitation, like a beaver using
Yeah.
a bunch of toys to make a dam.
Huh.
Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Okay. So tie this in with autism,
So
protein folding.
because I don't like if I am somebody who just has a wagey job, like I'm an Amazon truck driver,
Yeah.
and
Right.
I have a certain sense of satisfaction from taking something that's dirty and making it clean, but I don't have an
Uh huh.
actual outlet in my life to be able to do that. I can
Uh huh.
engage in a facsimile of that behavior by downloading a game like Power Washing
Huh.
Simulator and
Right.
playing a simulation or a
Right.
that's yeah, simulation, not a simulacra, of the thing that would bring me that kind of joy rather
Huh.
than engaging
Okay.
in the
Okay.
real behavior itself.
Oh, it's like a flight simulator.
Yeah, but like flight simulator, but like for things that you could just go out and get a power washer and just
Right. Right. Right.
power wash. Like
Well,
it becomes
but
more of
now
an
I
issue if you like have
understand.
an apartment. Like you can't just go out and start power washing the side of your apartment. Somebody else takes care of that
Right.
for you.
Right.
If you have a
Okay.
house,
Well, I'm tracking with you. I'm tracking. All right. So oh my gosh, I've gotten so lost in the weeds. So what are we talking about tonight?
So
Have motorcycles and
the
maintenance
topic
and
du
washing.
jour is
Right.
formlessness transforms, or formless transforms.
Okay. We're slow, just for forms, formlessness, and
Formless
transforms.
transforms. Yep,
Formless transforms.
correct.
Okay. All right. I'm in.
So,
So where are you at with this? What's your thoughts?
well, so first off, before, do you know what? Have you ever heard of something called a Fourier transform or a Laplace transform?
The first one, just like I've heard the word, but absolutely nothing on all of it.
Okay, so it's Fourier transforms are particularly prevalent for electrical engineers, and then Laplace
Okay.
transforms more for like controls, so mechanical and chemical engineers. And
Okay.
the gist is that there is a pretty advanced form of math where you're able to convert functions from what's called the time domain to either the Laplace domain for Laplace transforms or the frequency domain for Fourier transforms.
Okay.
So Fourier is probably going to be a bit more graspable. So if I play a sound for you, I
Yeah.
I can decompose that sound into what frequency, like if, and not just not like a song per se, but like just like a
Hmm.
very short clip of sound,
Okay.
right? Like I have a
Right.
two, like I have a couple of different tones, or even like within
Right.
a song actually. So what I can do is I can take that waveform and I can decompose it into its constituent frequencies and their relative
Mhm.
magnitudes.
Right.
So
Okay.
if I have like a chord, for instance, like I have a C, an E, and a G,
Hmm.
and I play those together, that has a sound. A Fourier transform takes those and splits them back out into C, E, and G with equal, like if you're just playing like on a piano, equal
Hmm.
magnitude.
Okay.
So that's like in a nutshell, that's what a Fourier transform is. It gets a little bit more complicated because it's not just
All right.
discrete frequencies that like when you start getting continuous frequencies, then it gets a little bit trickier.
Let's just go. Let's just deal with the lady that I am.
Okay,
I mean, we're cool. So,
you got the
the
gist, right?
first one.
Okay,
Yeah.
you get the gist. So
Yeah.
one of the really interesting things that you can do is you can uh, take something from the time domain, like you have some signal that's being transmitted, you can turn it into the frequency domain where you have this graph plot of different magnitudes of different frequencies. You can change that
Hmm.
and then turn it back into the time domain. You can change it back into sound. So some of the
So
simple.
when? Hmm. Well, when did we get out of time? When did we pop out of
So
time?
we're
When you
out
turned it
of
into math?
we're well. So when I'm plotting sound, I'm
Yeah.
plotting amplitude relative to time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What I'm
Okay.
doing with a Fourier transform is I am taking a chunk of time and I'm turning
Yeah.
that into amplitude as a function of frequency.
Oh, okay. So there's no time involved.
There's
You're
no
just
time
saying
anymore.
CGB. Okay, got you. You're just like, okay, that's out of time. Gotcha.
And so
All
what?
right.
So have you ever heard of something called a low pass or a high pass filter?
Yes.
Do you know what they do? Do you know what that is?
No. 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 I
Okay.
don't.
And I'm gonna get them mixed up if I don't look this up. So give me
All
one
right.
second, because I'm yeah. High pass filter allows signals with higher while blocking lower. Okay.
All
So
right.
it's a low pass filter is something that allows lower frequencies through while blocking high frequencies. And a high pass
Okay.
filter is something that blocks or high pass filter allows high frequencies while blocking low frequencies.
Okie dokie.
And so basically what you can do is you can take So like, say there's like a background, like a low rumbling in the background of an audio sample, and you want to
Right.
just
Yeah.
capture the vocals of two people talking.
Right.
What you can do is you can take the audio, you can run a Fourier transform on that audio, and so you're basically you're getting snippets throughout that have the frequency distribution. You are cutting off the low frequency
Right.
parts, and then you are left with the high frequency or higher frequency parts. So let's say there's
Got
like
it.
a 20 decibel or 20 hertz rumbling in the background, and you cut that
Hmm.
out so you can more clearly hear.
Right.
Yes, Skank, I am winning. I'm not playing right now, but I'm winning. Hey, I solved the other one, Grizz. Don't talk too much shit. I'll solve this one too. Watch me. I did not have to go back to an easier puzzle. I had one puzzle, and I've gone on to the next one after I solved that one. How dare? How dare?
I got to look at the text. If they're insulting you, I need to be in on that.
You need to be. No, Ron, you're supposed to defend me. How could you? I've been
When,
betrayed.
when in any lifetime, game-wise, have I ever defended you?
That's true. That is true.
I come not to friends, Romans, and countrymen. Lend me your ear. I come not to protect Afril, but to
I come
kill
to
him.
insult him with the audience, with the hive
Yes.
mind.
No. Where's my dagger? Brutus.
Where's my sack? Good grief.
So, all right. So we've got filters. We've got autism, folding proteins. All right.
Okay, so the whole point of this exercise is to just try and give you some idea of what I mean when I say a transform. Because
Okay. Oh,
it's
okay.
not it's something that's pretty deep into mathematics. Like you have to know calculus, you have to know multivariable calculus, you have to know differential equations. Like it's locked pretty far back in there for most lay people to be able to have
Sure.
like a conceptual understanding. But when you start talking back in terms of sound and stuff that like stuff that is more musical, then it becomes a little bit more accessible. Is the hope there?
Okay. So
Skank says insult me
what?
again. God bless.
Oh, I'll wait. I have to be proper about
He's
it.
got to find the right
When's-
moment to really make it
Oh
hurt.
yeah, it's never. There's always
If he's
there's an
expecting it,
etiquette
it's
protocol.
not gonna do
Yeah.
anything.
No. There's a propriety, but
There's
so
also
what is? Oh yeah, yeah. And there's engagement, rules of war, even of sacrifice, of tribute, of which, yeah. So what is on your mind today? With okay, so I'm trying to get to the.
Well, that's the problem. Is like there's a lot of explaining that I have to do before I can like
Okay,
get
well
to the
then,
part that's on my
then
mind.
all right, carry on.
So all of this is sort of the basis of like what is a transform and what do. Oh, Grizz popped on. Hello there, sir.
More than meets the eye.
More than meets the eye.
Transformers are more than meets the eye.
True. Robots in disguise. I think.
I've heard there are birdies pooping in your eye from reputable sources.
What was your eschatology?
But yeah, so the whole reason that I went on that tangent was to try and explain transforms in a way that is more grokkable to lay people by using like music and sound. The idea that I'm trying to bring up here is that Mathieu seems very anti-formlessness, and the point that I'm trying to make is that it's not about formlessness by itself. That what you actually want to conceive of is formlessness as a transform, where you are taking something from a particular form, you are bringing it into the realm of formlessness, and then you're bringing it back into the realm of form in a way that is productively changed. And understanding that there's a lot of unproductive ways to change it.
That's his old Eve side. Like, he's differentiating Eve and the devil. And that's the Eve version.
The concern that I have, though, is it doesn't feel like he's actually giving enough differentiation. like, or at least that he's not conceiving of Eve's capacity as something that can bring about, like, how do
I think he was just telling the people what they need to hear on that channel. I'm sure he's got a whole Eve bit that didn't play.
maybe, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point too. Because I mean, he did talk about that, like Eve being the like positive, or the positive interaction with formlessness.
Yeah, it's when formlessness is in service to form.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a good point. But it just, I don't know, it, like, the whole interaction, it didn't feel like that. It felt like that there was this antagonism towards formlessness, and not just in terms of serving formlessness.
He thinks it's the devil, so yeah, there is an antagonism there.
Well, but like, that's the thing though, is like there's an antagonism, but he's also acknowledging this notion that like Eve has access to formlessness in a way that is productive. Like, you're right on that, and I don't. But it's the vibe that I'm getting isn't that. It's that like formlessness is evil in some deep, profound way in his understanding.
It's death.
I don't know. He doesn't like evil. He likes to say the tree of good and bad. So
Which
he's very evil averse, so I'm not sure.
I don't know why that's the way he is conceiving of it. By the way, like, I don't know what that is. And it's like, it's kind of concerning to me because, like, why are you deliberately changing that? Like, that seems like a very important thing to keep preserved.
It's out there if you look hard enough.
I'm sure. It's also one of those, like, I am a finite human with finite constraints. Like, am I gonna be able to find this fast enough for it to be worthwhile?
Not while you're busy making lung alchemy.
I mean, I'm busy wasting my time in my own way, you know? It's
like disposable income, but it's attention.
And time. Tin, iron, copper. Tin.
Oh, the time is never disposable. It's always accruing.
I mean,
the opportunity costs that you're burning through right now are insane.
Well, so this has actually been a really big difficulty for me at work personally, because my boss is very much like a spam strategy kind of person. If like in terms of like fighting games, if that makes sense.
Wait for Ron to say something again.
No, I'm listening. This is interesting. What is a spam fight? I have no idea what a spam fighting strategy is.
If somebody is just like mashing buttons, like they're not actually engaging in any sort of strategy, they're not trying to use combination moves, they're not trying to anticipate what you're doing and then counteract it or react it. No, this is a single player game, Sandy. But what I'm talking about with like fighting games, there's some that are online. There's like, it goes back to like arcade games, if that's what you're referring to. It's true to the Hebrew. It's not shenanigans. Our language is much more moralizing. Okay.
Gotta read the text here. I gotta read the hive mind here.
The hive mind.
Yeah. So here's the thing, like, because I'm interested in what you guys have to say, but dude, it's good and evil. It's not good. I mean, evil is a person.
We have a Jewish scholar with us on the chat here. So, Dron, would you care to enlighten us about what the original Hebrew should be translated as?
Hey, who's the?
You are.
Dude, I'm from Cleveland. All right, bro. I was like, I'm the Methodist.
Did you
of
have a bar
Judaism, all
mitzvah?
right? Yeah, sure did.
There you go.
But but I'm not. I really have no special understanding from my, from growing up Jewish. It's other than when you grew up, it was like it wasn't vague. It was good and evil.
Okay.
It was, it's not.
Like in the original
It is
Hebrew?
well from just my education, such as it was. It was you had the devil, and you had not so much a devil as far as like the red, the horns and the pitchfork, but
Mhm.
there was the enemy. Let me think. You did have an accuser,
Mhm.
and it was
Mother of lies.
That's it. That's exactly it.
What's the name of this game again, Afe?
Opus Magnum. Which, by the way, Sandy, if your son loves puzzle games, he's going to absolutely enjoy this. So, would highly recommend. If I don't think it's too expensive on Steam, but you can probably get it on sale for even cheaper. So, Christmas present or something would be very, very good.
So I have a bone to pick with Matt too.
Okay.
Well, he's
So-
not here.
I know.
Why don't
That's
you
why I
shove
can-
that
Hey, you never
bone up
know.
your pooper?
Hey, you never know what he might end up listening to, Grizz.
No. I'm not attacking him, but it's like my thought that I need to.
He has made himself a
The-
public figure. He is open to criticism.
Yeah, and I'm not this. It's not him personally. It's just his the thought.
Mhm.
It's when the Holy Spirit hovered over the waters, he's saying that's formlessness.
Mhm.
And I'm like, wait a second, you just defined something as form as the waters. It might be chaotic, but it's not formless.
Mm.
So that one kind of, I'm not pushing back. It's more like a wonder, like, excuse me, can you explain to me if it's water, then it's not formless?
Well, if we're picking bones, all that Ouroboros talk with no mention of how that in ancient Egyptian mythology, it's the snake doing that like creates the pocket of intelligibility in which the universe comes to exist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Blood black nothingness begins to swirl.
Okay. Well, all right. So there's that. And
Set kills Apep, and from that, the world is born, kind of a thing. If I'm remembering correctly.
I don't know. I just saw it in a YouTube video once, but
But we're gonna cite it authoritatively, gosh darn it.
it makes sense that
does.
that separate the nothingness from the nothingness.
mm,
That fancy Kabbalah word everybody loves.
Ein
What is
Sofer.
it? No,
That's
it's
something
that
else. What is it?
like tiki one.
I don't know if
Tiki
that's right.
tiki word tohu bohu.
Okay.
Maybe it's the one where God had to make a space for himself to not be there to make creation or something.
wow. I haven't heard that one in a while.
From Skank, water takes
So-
the form of whatever container it rests in.
Like, and I do want to say, like, I do like Matthew's, the overall video that I saw.
Mhm.
I thought it was very interesting and helpful.
Mhm.
So I think, all right, so I'm not trying to backpedal, but I just
on
want
the
to give him,
defense. Get him, guys.
that's, oh Lord, the chess club, they smell blood because I was wrong and they have every right to eviscerate me. And if I deserve it, that's fine. But I really am trying to figure out, for me, this is all tactical stuff that I'm trying to put into practical. All the stuff I learn here, I try to use spiritually. Like, I think the spiritual world, though it is, you can't touch it. There's sharp objects in there and food. And it's your mind operating in that arena that I'm learning here to use there. It's okay. And let me make it, this is getting to word salad. If I under, it seems like the more I have, the better understanding I have of the spiritual world,
Mm-hmm.
and I define it almost as fine as possible, the more I can navigate it properly. And it starts from the basics of good, evil.
Okay.
You know, it starts from there. Everything works upwards from that. And knowing who you're in, I think the higher up you go, and it's like being an adult. When I mean higher up, it's not like you're any like grand poobah. It's just you get older and you're able to drive cars and eat different foods. And you have to learn how to keep the car on the road and not off a cliff, and then what foods are poison. You know, all green plants are not food. Some green plants are.
But I like eating the green
Spiritually, I think
things.
exactly. And just because it's green doesn't mean it's good. Just because it's spiritual doesn't mean you should be playing with it. And when it is spiritual, sometimes you don't know how to navigate it.
Mm.
And that's where I've gotten shanked.
Mm.
Is you know, I grew up. I don't want to blame anyone but myself.
Mhm.
I just needed to grow up, and this is learning. So when we talk about this stuff, I have a very not hands on. I have skin in the game.
Mhm.
And it's been paying off, by the way. I got to say, hanging out here and talking with everybody, and
That's good.
there's been some profound benefits, and it's fun.
Mhm.
You know,
very
hearing you die. It's no hearing you die
Wow.
is one of my.
Wow.
Oh no, it really is. It's you know, and then when I can share that with friends, it really is a good time.
Very wrong. Very wrong
Uh,
indeed.
yeah. So, Sir Grimulus Rex, what do you think about everything so far? If you have anything to say.
I think that if Af was sharing the game in Discord, it'd be convenient.
God bless. This is what happens when you don't stream for too long, folks.
How come Skank doesn't want to come in here and upsell us on the 8-7?
The Sinsun or whatever?
No, on the August 7th pilgrimage event.
Oh,
Oh.
How many people have been slamming his
Ooh.
emails?
by the way, I am jealous and happy for you guys.
Well, Matt C
I
is
do
going to be
cover
there,
it.
so we can do some initiations. It'll be a good
Oh
time.
my gosh. Oh dear. We're not a cult. We promise we're not a cult.
Well, it depends on how many people have emailed Skank about it, whether or not we're a cult.
How many do you need to have a cult?
If 13 people have emailed to him,
Yeah.
be
Is that
in
cult
the
clear?
micro celebrity supernova that will be the pilgrimage event.
Well, I know you're coming. Matt C's coming.
No, that's not. I'm talking like people we don't know email
Oh,
trying to join the
the
cult.
mystery, the X factor.
The lurkers that only want the good stuff. They won't be seen for lesser.
You gotta take the mediocre with the good though. That's the thing. Is like you gotta
No, but they're not
accept it
gonna.
as no.
They're not gonna expose themselves
Oh,
when they can just wait patiently and seize moments like the pilgrimage Pacific Northwest event on August 7th
got it.
to get the influence. It's like people that show up to those events clearly get more influence over us than people from emails. And that's just
Well,
why the WEF works as a thing, you know.
but it's not just about like I don't know. There's something special about the in-person time. It's not just about like, oh, you're somebody who's willing to cough up the dough and like it's like no, it's the reason why we've been trying to keep the cost as low as we have. The reason why it is a potluck estuary campout is it's just your time and attention. Like that's the entry fee.
Pilgrimage. You have to make the pilgrimage.
Well,
That's on you.
yeah, which for us in the PNW, it's not as bad because we're just driving a couple hours to get to wherever it is that we're meeting up. But for anybody who's coming in from out of state, then yeah. I don't know.
You're going all like 2 if by sea, so it's not like you're not making it a pilgrimage for yourself.
I mean, that is true. Which, by the way, went and did a.
You know, you're still not sharing the game. Oh, there it is.
No,
Watch. There it is.
Sir.
Fine. Okay.
Sir, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Speaking of wreck yourself, did you fix this puzzle yet?
I'm still working on it. I'm trying to go for cycles solve, which is why it looks like an absolute chaotic mess.
Yeah, I think you haven't streamed in too long, and Slasher's not going to come teach you how to play video games. Like,
Are you saying that he needs to?
it helps us all. It helps us all.
God bless. That was a good laugh. And yeah, Sandy's right. The flights are a major cost, especially like if you can figure it out in advance, it's not too bad. But if you are trying to do anything last minute, like it becomes prohibitively expensive.
Right. In a
Big
month in
bucks.
advance, it was pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Like, Theater Horror Movies was making flights more expensive.
Yep.
Wow.
Because of all the gas restrictions. So.
That's
Yep.
there's some people that meet up in Kent, Ohio.
Mhm.
That I've I don't know. I'm about 5 hours away, and then there's Chad's about 6.
Mhm.
I was seriously thinking about going to one of his
You didn't go to
back.
the...
Pardon?
You didn't go to the recent one?
No. I was in Ohio.
Womp womp.
So
Pretty sure we got Chad on the brink of doing a simultaneous event again for August 7th.
Ooh,
that would be interesting.
that would be exciting.
If you're only 6 hours out from Chad, because it's going to be another denim one, I think.
Okay.
Right. That would be.
I'll see if I can get him to commit.
That'd be interesting. That one, I would almost be forced to go
Yes,
to.
please. Speaking
Oh,
of
good.
Dashing Slasher,
Good. Our hero has arrived.
Grizz wants you to tell me how to play games because I'm apparently really bad at them. So.
Especially this one. Holy smokes. She's on the second
What do you
puzzle
mean?
of the stream.
What do you mean? I'm just confused why 15 didn't grab it. Okay, so that grabbed, but then it's like 15's grabbing again? Like, I'm not understanding. Oh, because I'm dumb. That's why.
Right. You figured it out.
Yay! If I place it, like, out here? Ah, there we go. I think it goes there.
Your sensei says, get good.
Yes. This is required for gamer.
You sound like you're from the Baltic
What
area.
happened there? Did you guys hear that? Turned into like some Inspector Clouseau version of stuff.
Yeah, it was like some Baltic Russian.
I have to do my my Grizz imitation, since apparently his accent is like some mysterious Russian, you know.
That's just to get the Rasputin coming through.
Okay. Ra ra Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen.
Did you see I had Fable make me a game of Hearts to play on stream?
No, a game of
Oh yeah.
hearts.
I got it doing that They Live card game too,
Mm,
but I had it whip out a Hearts one.
okay.
For just giggles.
I have not been keeping up with my my TLC content as much lately. I've been trying and failing to focus more at work, but I'm at least not distracting myself with YouTube. So
We
something.
haven't talked about anything important in a minute.
Mhm.
We'll let you know.
Okay, I've caught some stuff, and there's been some really good, fun stuff to listen in on too. So it's, there's still stuff going on. There's still stuff going on.
There's like
Yeah, the good
all
one.
these channels assembled and did a morning show thing for a while, and then this one guy like tried to steamroll 3 hours all over them, like to be the morning show. It was a big power grab. That's very exciting.
Who was this?
Your favorite, some fella you're fond of.
Oh.
I understand it.
Oh, okay.
The flock fella.
The fella who ostentatiously
Yeah.
puts Greek letters
Let's
as
talk
his
about
name.
Eric Weinstein and Matt Pedro. They are public figures.
Fair enough. Folks that are not present to defend themselves is not fair game.
I'll trade not talking about them for their not being present.
So anyway, back to the topic du jour.
Folding proteins, autism, and power washing.
We're just pulling all the topics in.
Okay.
So the thing that I don't like, I don't want to push back too hard because the hesitation regarding formlessness is extremely important. Like, you do not want to mess around in that space any more than you have to. But also, it seems to me that that there's too much of a rejection, and like, I don't know if it's that it's a lack of comprehension about the sort of like Eve techniques of formlessness, or maybe not even a lack of comprehension, but like a lack of elaboration. Like, there's a comprehension there, but it's just he hasn't spoken about it as much or as intensely because the serpent formlessness is something that is more predominant in his mind. But even with that, the thing I would push back with is like the call to be wise as serpents, innocent as doves. It's like, what do you define then as serpent wisdom?
Oh, okay.
And
No,
if
it's to be
you are
wi-
supposed to be
oh.
as wise as serpents, that means you need to have serpent wisdom. Doesn't mean that you need to execute on it. Doesn't mean that you need to utilize it. But you need to have it. You need to understand what serpent wisdom means.
Can I throw something out? What it might be?
Yes, please.
All things of the flesh.
Okay.
There is wisdom of the flesh, which is sensual. I'm trying to quote Paul.
Ooh, sensual? Tell me more.
Down, boy.
This is why we can't have company over anymore. No, it's because Paul talks about this. The wisdom of there's two kinds of wisdom. The one you don't want is it's sensual. I think it's Romans. It's off the top of my head. It's you're dealing with it's to know the base things. I think that everyone knows automatically.
Mm-hmm.
So you are to know the things of the flesh, lust of the flesh, lust of the eye, hard life. To know them, to be wise as serpents, to understand them, but not do them.
Mm-hmm.
That way, you know it's a sucker punch. Someone's trying to make you drop your guard or draw you off sides.
Mm-hmm.
Turn these. If you are the Son of God, turn this stone into bread. If you are the Son of God. Connolly, what do you say? Bow down, or no, throw yourself down from this pinnacle.
Mm-hmm.
The angels will, because that's even using scripture against you. But anyhow, And then if you son this, not even the last one is not even if you're the son of God, but just bow down and worship me, and you won't have to deal with the cross, and you can have this world.
Mhm.
So that's, in my opinion, is the wisdom of the serpent. There's probably more, but that's just the baseline of it.
Well, but what does it mean
Well,
to have serpent wisdom?
I think I
Like
think
what does
I-
Jesus have to understand in order to be able to defeat the trials of Satan?
to know. What do you think it means? Because I have an opinion, but I'd like to hear yours or Graham's.
Ooh,
You know,
I want to
like
hear Grizz. I want to hear Grizz's thought.
Be wise enough to know that you're also prey.
Hmm.
And the ways in which you can be preyed upon is the wisdom of the serpent.
I like that.
The slight pushback I would give to that is the way that you know that you're prey is to understand what you look like through the eyes of a predator.
Like pushback I would give on that is you say pushback like you talk to Claude too much.
You're not wrong. It's a good catch. It's a really good catch.
I think that's the load-bearing part of this segment.
Oh, fuck you. The worst part is that that's unironically things that I would have said prior to interacting with Claude too much.
Ooh, are we having a moment here?
Was that?
Is there something? Do we need a moment here?
What kind of a
Is there
moment?
something? I don't know. It's like I feel like there's a therapeutic moment here of breakthrough in Zen. Like, okay, you just
Well, I'm outing him as using Claude as therapist too much.
pretty much.
I don't
You
have
should use
much
us
else
as
to
a therapist.
use as my therapist properly. Like,
No,
what
that's
do you
what
want from
we
me?
do. Listen, you know what? I'm gonna tell you why you don't talk to Claude and you talk to us, because
Okay.
we'll tell you to just your breath stinks. Make your bed, suck it up. You can do better. Don't quit and go. You know, like, and now play your game so we can laugh at you when you die.
Mhm.
You know, but we'll be here for you.
Mhm.
You know, that's, yeah. I mean, I used to eat too much or drink too much Coke, and like I had a coworker just look at me. He was a real quiet guy. He just looked at me dead stare. He goes, "You drink too much Coke." I'm like, dang.
You right.
Bruce doesn't talk. Yeah, exactly. So if if Grim's telling you you talk too much to Claude, just cut it out.
I mean, the trouble is that, like, when I have stuff bubbling in my head, and especially, like, a bunch of disconnected things, and I want to see if... Like, I don't know. I should know better at this point that they're not... Like, this is a conversation I've had with Ups a bunch of times. Is, like, when you're having thoughts that you're not hearing from anybody else, there's the question that you should ask yourself of, are you a visionary or are you just a crazy person? And the default assumption that I've been operating under for a very long time is I'm probably just a crazy person and I should probably just be quiet.
No. I know crazy people. Like, no, dude, and I mean,
Like,
I
actually
know
crazy.
real crazy. Yeah, no, like, dude, we got
If you were
people,
actually crazy, you would have solved this puzzle by now.
Wow.
no, that would be no, Graham. I'm gonna push back on that. That's actually, it would be competence if he was competent.
Turbo autism.
Totally different. Terrible. You need
Able to
we
carry
need
a
more
conversation
autistic people
and
here.
solve puzzles at the same time.
Level up your autism today. With,
Join the Afriel Pilots and fandom. We're
Oh
still
my
looking for a
God.
term. Did Foxman come up with something for, like, what he should call his fans, by the way?
Constituents.
Constituents.
I like that.
Oh,
Wait, don't
man.
they, wait. That's in Brother Up We're Out though. That's yeah.
Well, I think he's riffing off of Grizz saying that, like, you should be holding your representatives accountable, and so if he's the president, then he has his constituents.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, it's just pretty clever. Dashing Slasher is saying, well, at least I'm sane.
It's like, does that mean that you just don't have thoughts that you don't hear from other people?
Dude, you are far from crazy. Jeez, oh Pete's. Listen, you're entertaining.
The Afriel pilots in
Yeah.
school for autists.
Yeah. Well, you
We
can have
had
a
several of our
announcement about-
members die in a freak gasoline fire accident.
What? No,
What?
that's not good.
Have y'all watched? What's the name of the movie?
That satanic cartoon you do?
Oh no! It's Ben
other
Stiller.
one?
Ben Stiller is a male model.
Zoolander?
Zoolander. Thank you.
I've never
I'm
seen
assuming that's what Slasher is referencing with that, and that's what I was trying to riff off of, and apparently failing. If you subscribe,
dude.
we can give you a super del Uwugit. I don't even know.
I'd like to solve the puzzle, Alex.
Okay, I'll focus on the puzzle. You guys talk for a little while then, if you want me to solve the puzzle. How about that?
I gotta feed the cat.
Okay, we'll go feed the cat.
Pikachu. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Afriel Pilots and School of Autism. Ever think about being autistic? Think about it. Want to be great at games and lousy at social events, and you don't care?
Want to be mediocre
That's
at
what
games?
Afriel-
Let's go with mediocre at
Medi-
games.
Would you like to be mediocre at games and socially awkward? We're here to help. We can turn you from a well-adjusted human being into someone who's socially awkward and uncomfortable in any given situation. Look great with numbers or something.
But you might learn a couple of things along the way. Maybe.
True.
Maybe.
True. Probably. Once in-
Of questionable utility.
All right, so let's just go with the premise: you're not crazy. You're
Okay.
having thoughts.
Yep.
And I like it, to be honest with you. I mean, there are some people build things. Beavers build dams. I think people build thoughts.
Well,
I think some people.
here, let me hang on. I gotta pull this up. So one of my top stream topics that I have in mind that I would really like to talk about at some point. I just want to make sure I get psychotechnological cyborgs.
Yeah. Explain it to me like I like Star Trek, but I don't know what you're talking about.
So wait, let me make sure that what we were talking about. What were we talking about?
Grim has left the building.
He has. What were we just talking about?
Well,
Before
no, all kidding aside. Well, no, we were okay. We can reel this thing in. You're because Grim was busting your chops about talking, which I thought sounded like a very.
Well, he's talking about
loving,
Claude, and then
good
craziness,
stuff.
and then
Yeah,
you were saying I'm not crazy.
yeah,
and
you know.
then I'm trying to. I don't know if it was actually psychotechnological
Well, you
cyborgs. It
forget
might have been
so
something
many-
else.
You had so many thoughts, you didn't know who to share them with.
Yes.
Yeah, you were trying to make a pattern, see if there was a pattern. And because we were even going back, we're almost there. Because
Oh, and Grizz has to make a store run, so he will be back in a little bit.
Oh,
I
okay.
suppose.
right. So, because
Because it wasn't I don't know if it was psychotechnological cyborgs. I thought I saw that and I was like, oh, this is what I wanted to talk about. It's like I don't know if that was what I wanted to talk about.
Well, no, I think it was psychotechnology. I think we're close. Because I was getting all deep and like I have to deal with this stuff and I'm skin in the game and blah blah blah.
It's like
and
it's craziness, and then but it's not like you're not crazy. You have things that are worth listening to, and then what came out?
it's we also Grim was talking about attention, time. That was way back.
Hive mind, help us, please.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Well, I'll give
it'll,
a brief synopsis of psychotechnological
yeah.
cyborgs, and maybe that'll give
All
us
right.
enough
All right. Yeah.
runway to work with. So,
Let's make a gentleman's agreement. Whoever remembers it can interrupt and just say, "We're back."
absolutely.
All right.
Basically, this idea that like, or this I don't want to elaborate on too much because I do want to do
Oh,
a
and
proper
by the
episode
way,
on it.
we were talking about formlessness, Matthew Peugeot,
Yep.
and evil.
Yep.
So I don't know if that's going to jar anything else. Sorry.
I don't think so.
Okay, that's cool.
So I'll just give a psychotechnological cyborg synopsis. Is this idea that what does it mean to be a human being? Because you can't be. Scott Adams is a psychotech cyborg, kind of. But it like so you have this like when you're like what does it mean for someone to be a human being? So you're born into the world, but you're raised by your parents, and you can't really function without being raised by your parents. And your parents are teaching you certain things about how to be in relation to them, and be in relation to yourself, be in relation to the world. And so, like we have this idea of a cyborg where you have a human who is augmented by technology, and to a degree, like we don't exist without technology anymore at all. Like, we don't really think about it, but like clothes, like we always wear clothes. Like unless we're running around naked constantly, we are inherently cyborgs. And even if we were just running around naked, we would still probably be interacting with tools. We would still be interacting with our environment. Like I don't necessarily think it's proper to consider like if you had like a human being naked in a Garden of Eden, for instance, that doesn't like the garden is not part of the human, but also you can't just take the human out of the garden and have them survive. Like you can't just put a human being in the vacuum of space. Like they'll die pretty much instantly.
Right.
And so the question becomes like, okay, what's the minimum viable amalgam of human plus other things, and then how do you understand and describe the boundaries between that human and the other things that are necessary for its survival? And yeah, it is partly a Peugeot garments of skin thing, to Skank comment, but it's the point that I'm trying to make with the psychotechnology aspect of it is how much of those garments of skin are not physical but psychological, are things that you have to have programs running in your head in order to survive in the world, and not just like the physical wild nature world, but the world of human beings, because that's more like I think that was a Peterson thing, was like the most complex thing that you are going to regularly engage with as a human being is other human beings.
Okay. Okay. Are we talking like the wisdom of serpents again?
I think it comes in there. The reality, like another Petersonism is one way to think of a human being is ape filled with serpents.
Oh, now that I will say hell no.
Okay.
I'll be like, shut up. Well, no, and that's only because he's Peterson. I will give him a hall pass. I won't spike the ball back in his face. But I'm like, no, sir, we are not apes filled with snakes. We are angels in the making, or at least. Oh, you want your transformer moment? Okay, we are for Christians, and you should order yours today. Jesus.com.net.org.
Get yours today.
That's it.
No, Scan copping on soon. Because he said breakdown of my camera mind, and I'm not quite sure what he meant by that. Sorry. Get yours today.
Well, we are being transformed into the likeness of God. And we will be more like, we will be like angels. And so there's a real Catholic term, like a transubstantiation thing going on with us. So it's not cyborg, but it sounds similar. It's a real transformation. Cyborg seems like it's a downward trend for me.
Okay.
like man and machine. Whereas with God, it's a transformation of God and man
Okay.
and not technology. But there's still a transformation occurring. Both are transforming into something. One is mechanical. Oh, but you were saying, I'm sorry, but you were saying there's another transformation. Was it internal? Because I'm kind of losing the thread. I'm just throwing out. So, is there anything I threw out that you can use for what you were talking about?
Mm,
And if not, that's cool.
well,
I'm just
can you recap it? Because my attention was divided, and I don't think I picked up everything you were saying. Just one more time.
no, it's not. It's basically you have your cyborgs. It's man and machine.
Yep.
With me, it's man and God.
Okay. Okay.
So it's two different, but there is a transformation occurring in both of them. One's up, and in my opinion, and one's down.
So
Mhm.
the thing, because I read the first, I think, 2 chapters of cybernetics by which MIT guy was this? MIT cybernetics. Norman
I hear
Wiener.
someone coming in.
Norman Wiener.
Okay.
Oh, we got a skank. How's it going, good sir?
Seriously.
Almost. I feel like they're not putting part of the play for the music festival. So
You're coming a little quiet / garbled. I'm guessing he's trying to figure his stuff out. Okay. But yeah, so the one of the things that I'm also kind of thinking of in that context is this idea of like cybernetic complexity, where, and like this is the other thing is like there's not in my mind an inherent morality attached to a particular cybernetic complexity. The thing that determines the morality is that the axiomatic orientation towards either service to others or service to self. Like that's the thing that and it's not just the orientation towards in the sense of like this is what I want to happen, but it's also that orientation in terms of what actually happens, what actually occurs.
Okay. I'm tracking.
Because you can intend to do good things and then cause horrible damage on accident.
Right. Okay. Right. But you're saying the outcome counts more than anything?
Not that it counts more than anything, because like there's a lot of times where you'll have somebody who is engaging in below threshold efforts, and like you're going to have to push through those below threshold efforts to get to borrow from Jordan Hall. You have to get from 0 to 1 before you can get to 1 to 100, and so
right. Okay.
Like you're gonna do a bunch of stuff that doesn't hit 1 before you finally do hit 1, and that doesn't mean that all of the efforts to hit 1 were in vain or pointless, but you have to see and understand that there's an orientation that those efforts are driving towards, even if they're not actually hitting their target yet.
Okay. Gotcha.
You gotta clean your room.
You gotta clean your room.
You know what? You guys are pretty
You
close.
gotta repair your motorcycle. You gotta clean your workshop and your kitchen.
You gotta set your affairs in order if you're no bloody good to any bloody one else.
It's not bad.
I wonder what Peterson thinks of all of the good-natured ribbing that people give to him.
Oh, it probably likes it. I think he could take it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, the question is early or late, Peterson, you know?
If he's gotten...
Because the early one was very much like... Well, I mean, there was the early one who was well aware that like he was functioning as sort of a... I mean, back when the alt-right was talked about under those terms, he kind of like knew he was a de-radicalizing force in that sphere. And so he had a lot of patience, a lot of tolerance for all of their nonsense. Because I think he saw it as them the things they needed to do to get from 0 to 1.
Yep.
So my question, I feel like I'm resisting like a pit bull on a pork chop. I'm resisting the subject of evil. Like the whole reason one of the reasons I want to talk to you, your subjects rather, just having fun for sure, is evil, because like I'm like, no, it's a solid thing. And it's I don't know where Matt Chu's at with it. It's
how about this? What do you think of the idea that evil is not just that down is bad, but evil is something else that is up in a different direction than good?
I'm not opposed. I don't understand what you're saying. Not yet. Bring
I
it
kind of
in.
feel like you're getting into this idea that, like, I don't know, almost like to use like theological terms, like effects of the fall. Sort of like entropy is bad, but it's not the same as evil.
Yes.
Even
Right.
it's
Right.
yeah, and I don't know, in the Genesis Just So story, it can be seen as like things are now breaking down and they weren't before because everything's out of whack.
But,
And it's
all right,
also, in one sense, like part of the natural process is how things go now, but it still sucks.
right. All right, I'll throw something out at you guys. Not all darkness is bad or evil. And the reason I'll use is God he cloaks himself in darkness at times. And I think it's in Psalms. So
Yeah, dark night of the soul stuff. It's a tool that he uses.
Okay, so I think there is evil. I'd have to say.
Maybe because I know Aft does not like the full Augustinian privation description. Evil is the absence of the good.
Yep.
And that's all that evil is. And I think that kind of God using darkness is sort of God wielding his absence, which is not the same as actively inflicting harm.
Is not
So privation is I don't know, fair play for God. It's it's in balance. Okay. It's just for the one who is good to not be as wholly, totally, completely good as he otherwise would be for his own purposes. That's not the same thing as actively committing horrendous acts on creatures.
Well, all right, so if I can understand you better, then it would be some hunger is good. Some hunger can be evil, like starvation, like to death. But if you're fasting, some hunger is beneficial, but it's still hunger. And I'm actually cool with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'd die on it, but I think I would, is that there is evil, and it's an active entity. Like it has its own. It's a thing. It's a person. You know, the fallen one, and that's why there's Jesus. Because if there was no evil, or if there wasn't an active fallen one, you wouldn't need an active risen savior, redeemer.
That's getting kind of Mormon there, Ronald.
Really? Oh, dude, like Mormon chicks are hot. Oh man.
Ron, soaking is not in Pentecostalism. Stop that. Anyway,
how you bonk Ron again? I did once for the comments.
Do you guys mind if I just real quick read something off? It's going to sound absolutely insane, but it's the source of the mindworm, or one of the main sources of mindworms that is like causing some of the things that we're talking about.
Yes.
Okay. So, y'all know about the law of one, or at least peripherally?
I'm aware that it's a thing.
Okay.
I've gone so far as to find a YouTube video of it. Have not gotten as far as like actually pressing play yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm aware it's a thing.
Okay. Ron, you know what I'm talking about?
It's, and I'm not trying to be slanderous. Yeah, no, yeah. Let's just go with yes.
3 hippies in Kentucky talking to an ancient Egyptian god, or claiming to. Fair enough.
Yeah, huh? Mhm.
I
Okay.
love
Which one is it? Raw, right?
Yeah, Ra.
Raw. Okay.
Ra specifically, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Nice.
questioner, I'm sorry that I have much difficulty in asking these questions. Oh, sorry. Context. This is session 79, question or line 32. So, if you want to look it up. Questioner, I'm sorry that I have much difficulty in asking these questions, but we're on material that I find somewhat difficult. I find it interesting that the very first experiment of veiling the matrix from the potentiator and vice versa created service to self-polarity. This seems to be a very important philosophical point in the development of the creation and possibly the beginning of a system of what we would call magic not envisioned previously. Let me ask this question. Prior to the extension of first distortion, was the magical potential of the higher densities as great as it is now when the greatest potential was achieved in consciousness for each density? This is difficult to ask. What I'm saying is, at the end of fourth density, prior to the extension of free will, was the magical potential, what we call magic, as great, or the ability, or the effect as great, as it is now at the end of fourth density? Ra's response, I am Ra. As you understand, if we may use this misnomer, magic, the magical potential in third and fourth density was then far greater than after the change. However, there was far, far less desire or will to use this potential. So, lots of obscure jargon, but the gist of it, the thing that I want to emphasize that I got from this was this notion that the creator veiling parts of itself from itself was what created the service to self-polarity, the capacity for isolated parts of the creator to then seek their own self-interest at the expense of the rest of creation. And that even though doing that caused there to be a significant decrease in the capacity of creation to create, it was not just completely offset, but it was vastly offset by the increase in the will to engage in creation because of this opposite polarity, and in particular the institution. Like, if existence can just do whatever it wants, then it doesn't really have a driving motivator. But if existence is constantly constrained by players who are trying to instantiate non-existence, then even if that means that the whole thing is constantly trying to be collapsed in by some of the players. But that gives something for the people who are trying to call existence into a deeper and deeper being. It gives them something to push back against, a gravity to grow against. It's like if you try and grow a plant in space, it doesn't know which way to grow. You have to give it gravity, you have to give it light, and then it knows which way to grow. And then it grows fantastically.
Right. I'm not.
And I hate that. I hate that because that means that there is first of all, that the existence of evil in the world is an inevitable consequence of the structure of reality itself, which I fucking hate.
No, wait a second. Wait, chill. Just relax. Wait.
All right, now so. Yeah, I guess this is where I double down on my Christian cosmology a little bit. There's a distinction between like the ideal space before the fall and after the fall. Again, this does dovetail really, really well, I think, with sort of like the Peugeot garments of skin sort of thing. And the idea that like mortality is a gift in some sense. It's not the ideal, but it is a thing that kind of creates the conditions that allow us to strive, because now we have the entropy of our own mortality to strive against.
Yep.
We have again, I don't know this. Matt C was making hay out of your no late game content for billionaires, and this is like Struggle to Survive is like early game content. That's a tutorial.
Mhm.
It's like figure out how to feed yourself, and then figure out how to feed others.
Mhm.
And some folks I know get caught in the tutorial.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the thing is that like there's so much breadth and depth available that we just don't take advantage of, and like I don't know, like the motorcycle that I bought was for like $2,000.
Uh-huh.
And there's a ton of stuff that I'm gonna have, like things that I'm gonna have to buy, things that I'm gonna have to learn, like, but just coming into proper relationship just with a simple piece of machinery that I was able to acquire for $2,000. Like, there's such a depth of existence there, and like even like ignoring machinery, which requires intense amounts of industry to come into being, I can just do stuff on my property to make garden beds. I can own chickens. Like, there's so much at that base layer of reality that we don't engage with as a society because it's economically inefficient. And it's like, there's so much gold there in terms of comprehending your relationship with reality if you're just willing to spend the time and effort rather than just playing into whatever games that are being presented to you by a reality that wants to keep you very much boxed in to a particular thing. Like how the people are in that spell, and I don't see a way of breaking them out of that spell beyond what they're able to break themselves out of.
I mean, that sounds like the whole Metsu project, is he's just realizing that, like, yeah, all of the biblical metaphors or symbols are built off of that base human reality of making your own bread, tilling your own garden.
Yes.
And if he actually does those things, he will be able to see with the scriptures in a way that I cannot in my super cyberpunk lifestyle.
Well, not that you can't. Like that's the thing is
No. This is just it. The things that you do, like the practice you are engaged in, train your perception. So the more he engages in these things, the more he goes about like baking his own bread, living by like a natural lifestyle cycle, operating under the realm of light and mirrors, not as forms of technology like electricity or like painting glass, but through like reflections on water, stuff like that. The more he does those, the more he phenomenologically deals strictly in that domain, the more he is going to be able to see with, because it's about this kind of like accretion of sensory perception.
Okay.
Like what you do trains your perception. What you focus on tells you what to keep focus on. It trains you on what to notice and what to not notice.
Yes.
So for me, it's all I can imaginally get there, but that's not the same thing as like being viscerally engaged in the practices themselves.
Okay.
So can you well, I don't want to interrupt, but okay, so if you can circle around eventually when you do viscerally engage with the practice as well, because that anyhow, food for thought later. Later on, would like your opinion.
Well, are you? Is the push to say, hey, go engage with the, go touch grass? Is Ron telling Matt to go touch grass? Is that what's happening?
Just the opposite.
Well, this is where I get into my whole like, I mean, different practice open up your perception in different ways. There's also a sense in which scripture talks about. I mean, like the wisdom chapter in Job is like there's all sorts of things hidden in the world. Like there's all sorts of ways of undiscussed ways to tap into the logos if you commit yourselves to a craft, to a trade. And so I don't know. I feel like I found other ways to kind of lock in that it's giving me insights that are unfortunately not super duper reproducible to others that aren't doing what I'm doing.
Mhm.
Like it's frankly like impossible for me to talk about like what my job, what my work actually is, because you have to do it to know, to kind of like see my craft the way that I see it.
Yep. Yeah, that's very fair.
I mean,
Well, what can you give us an example? I understand. And by the way, hi Joy, good to see you. But what is an example of an insight that? Sorry, Joy. I didn't mean to be dismissive in the way I said that. Hi Joy, it's good to see you. I just really want to hear what Matt has to say about like what. And obviously, I'm not going to have the same level of intimacy with the insight. But like I'm assuming you can get something there, right? Something across.
no, not a lot really, because a lot of it is like, again, it's things that, just the fact that I have this weird sort of, there are things my hands know that my brain and my speech cannot articulate, and I'm against this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so there really is like, this gets into like kind of like how I don't know, like a frame through which I view the world that like I just can't articulate, because it's built off of I don't know, like handiwork, handicraft. Yeah, no, like I'm just bumping up against the limits of language here.
Okay.
Is it then at that point? Usually, what I've seen with the mystics is they would say things like love unspeakable, joy unspeakable, something unspeakable, which is actually seems to be a fair thing to say. So it's not a cop out. Was it joy unspeakable, feel of glory? So if you have something that's unspeakable, limits, is it a mystical thing?
I mean, I'm not going to pretentiously say that I'm engaged in a mystical practice or anything like that.
But I wouldn't say. Here's the thing, I'm really like, I would
But
say, look, no, because if you are, I'm not. I would say, yeah, cool, because if that's what it is, that's what it is, and I'm not, because then if you've reached the mystical, you're like, I ain't got words for it, but it's real. You're like, oh, okay, fine. That's not unreasonable. That's not, that actually to me is like, oh yeah, you're in the mystical, fine. That's part of life. That ain't bad. I'm actually glad for you.
I'm just closer to original participation than the rest of you guys.
Yeah, exactly. And for 1995 in April's School of Autism, because we're starting a School of Autism here.
Not to teach people how to be autistic. Let's be clear about that. Also, howdy, Neil. Good to see you.
God, I feel like I want to sound like Trump when I do that. I'm not trying to be political.
We're gonna open a school of autism.
Autism. Oh my gosh, this is
the best autist, the spurgiest.
You're gonna make autism great again. Sorry. So where are we at? So okay, Skank, you were involved.
I don't know where we're at. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
All over the place.
No, you guys, because
trying to tell you guys, like, I can't put my experiences or perceptions into words. You're like, okay, that's great. Tell us more about that with words.
But no. Like, okay, let me give you an example. Like, I cannot convey to someone the kind of understanding that comes from surfing as far as learning to see when sets of waves are coming in, and learning to have the relationship with that of you're gonna go out and you're going to sit in a spot and you're gonna wait for a while, and then you're going to be looking on the horizon for something that comes, and then you're going to try and position yourself properly, and you're going to try and catch that, and you're going to there's definitely something that is deeper in terms of the engagement with that is different than the thing itself, but I can at least propositionally describe what that relationship is, even if it's not the full nature of that relationship. And so, like, what Ron and I are trying to ask for is just, like, can you propositionally describe something that is only really able to be understood through experience?
No.
Okay.
At least not at this point.
Okay. Could you take what you know and teach it to another carny?
Yeah, but it's do this. Watch me.
Okay. It has to be done through the experience. It can't be conveyed propositionally. At least not.
Yeah.
It's.
Okay.
It seems like what I've heard in church is inspirations are caught, not taught.
Mm-hmm.
And inspirations being those are I think spiritual things, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they are.
That's just.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just insight learning in general.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. It seems like, because when we were talking, when I asked you, like, well, tell me about your thing you can't talk about, I'm like, oh, duh. Usually with me, yeah, then you get into the area of teaching, like experiential teaching by example, or spiritual environments where you catch the vibe or catch the spirit, which maybe there's an overlap there too. Probably is. Okay. So where one lacks, the other one can pick up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, F, I've gone into the weeds. I got an answer, but I'm in the weeds.
It's the best place to be.
Yeah, where the buses don't park. We're way out in the weeds.
I don't know. Honestly, I'm guessing it's probably just to read more Plato, because I mean, this really feels like it's again, my job is all about trying to find a way to get certain forms to become instantiated.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and it's not something that I can really plan out. In a lot of ways, it's very much kind of like fiddling around and waiting for the path by which the form manifests itself through my materials to make itself known to me. But also, it's just through kind of a lot of practice in the art, being very unsatisfied with like shitty manifestations. So some of it is through a lot of work establishing a decent amount of excellency or virtue, if you'd like. Create this certain, I don't know, like taste in an aesthetic sense, a dissatisfaction with poor manifestations. See, this is just it's
Okay.
Yeah, I know a lot of my work appears to be paint by numbers, which it is until it isn't. And once it's not, it's like, how in the world did you get there?
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. I definitely like. I know enough about materials to know how balloons probably misbehave, and you have to know how to engage with them when they decide to misbehave, and that's just the physical
Mhm.
aspect of what it is that you're doing, because
Right.
there's a performance aspect of it. Like, you're not just building a balloon animal in isolation, you are building it in relation to the the client, so to speak.
Mhm. Yeah.
And like, you've even talked with me a little bit about like using that as a vehicle to talk about much deeper things in terms of like impermanence with children who are just beginning to wrestle with the idea and the understanding of impermanence.
Mhm.
So like, there's definitely a lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
complexity there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is. I mean, in some sense, like what there's something deeply kind of elemental about what I do, because
Yep.
it's all about it's it's all about air or pneuma, spirit, wind, if you would like, and kind of forming, manipulating that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, how about
and
this?
it's just, I mean, how often are you in the business of trying to manipulate air?
Unless
That's
you're like
funny.
a woodwind or a
How? Yeah.
brass
How,
musician kind of a thing, yeah.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah. How are you?
How often do people focus on their breathing? How often do they feel and understand how they are inhaling and exhaling? How often do they deliberately breathe deeply?
Now, as a former Buddhist, I'd have to say that one I'd had locked up quite a bit. But as a normal Western person who doesn't smoke anymore, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Unless
Oh,
Well, and even in countries where Buddhism is more prevalent, like, how common is like proper meditative practice versus just like, oh yeah, that's a thing that I'm supposed to do.
you know what? Not much. Not zero. It's like, yeah, pretty low.
ask a question. What actually is like Buddhism at the level of normies
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm.
properly Buddhist culture?
They're like Methodists in America,
Mm-hmm.
or just your
Christmas and
Christers,
Easter.
Christmas and Easter. That's it.
Any-
You have your
Like,
nominal Buddhists.
what's the Christmas and Easter of Buddhism? Are you even allowed to have one of those?
I don't know, Day of the Dead, or dude, I don't know. No, it'd be there's no way. Buddha's probably birthday is probably I think that's December 12th. I was a Buddhist. I remember some of this stuff. Um, no, you do have actually different holidays. There are like in any religion, you got certain holy high holidays and other minor ones.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're, but
Oh,
We
yeah,
got a
as far as
spatch.
the mindfulness.
Hmm?
Hmm?
I was just saying we got a spatch. Hello. As far as the mindfulness. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, yeah, no. It's like the breathing and all that. That was a big thing
Mm-hmm.
quite a while. So it depends on if you're religious about your religion, it'd be pretty high, but for the most part, zero. So here we are back in the weeds.
Mm-hmm.
Pull me out, Afro. I just saw a squirrel.
Why would I pull you out when it's so much fun to be in here with you?
All right, no, I appreciate that. No, I don't want to. I don't want to take an off ramp when the conversation has a
Mm-hmm.
direction,
Mm-hmm.
because you and Skank were in a direction
Well,
and talking about air.
I mean, what I was gonna leave it with
Correct.
was like a homework assignment of like, all right, Matt, your homework assignment is at the estuary campout to give your best effort of a propositional explanation of one of the most deep, impactful truths that you've learned from doing balloon artistry?
Huh. That's interesting.
To
That's
try
not
and take it into a propositional form in a way that is it like, obviously we're not going to get the depth of it, but to have like a base level comprehension, is that somebody would be able to move in the direction of understanding. We'll go with that. Is that fair?
I hear you. I'm internally revulsing against the thought. And we just, uh, so,
Mm-hmm.
but I hear you saying that's a thing you would like me to do, and I will think about it.
Okay, that's all I ask.
But
This isn't a real school. I can't actually give you homework.
But if it was, it would be Afril School of Autism, where we teach you to be the best autistic version of yourself.
the best, most autistic, like
The
embrace
most-
your
see
internal
if this. Here's the thing though. If this is a real school, I would just throw my materials at you, be like, all right, demonstrate your worthiness to teach me anything.
Ooh. Here's the balloons.
autistic.
Show me your balloon animals, good sir. I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that a lot, actually. Let's see here. And then this
See now, if I was still a Buddhist and someone, Afril, if you asked me to do some sort of propositional thing,
Okay.
The typical Zen Buddhist thing I would make up is I would make a balloon animal and then stomp it to pieces and then hand it to you humbly. Just something that would be the propositional in action. It's Buddhism. What was koans and the answer to them? They were usually like, what was it? What is the sound? Oh, okay. Here's a koan. Well, you have one hand clapping. Yeah. Oh, the hair-blown sword. If you touch the hair-blown sword, anyone who touches it dies on touching it. And you have to pick it up and break the hair-blown sword without dying. But to touch it, you die. How do you break the hair-blown sword? And the answer is they actually grab the hair-blown sword, snap it, and then hand it back to you, which seems like a cop-out answer, but that's the answer that the Zen master gave. So the
Say it
answers
again. What's
usually
the answer?
don't make. You just grab the sword anyhow and break it, even though
Even
you
though
die.
you die? Okay.
Yeah, but there. What else is there?
See, that's
Yeah,
that's
okay.
a good, like, you don't have to play every game that's offered to you. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, it is. So there's
The only way to win is by refusing to play.
Okay.
Yep.
I wonder. Yeah. So
What
I
is
know
this? The hair blown sword?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, the hair-blown sword. Like even if a hair drops on it, it automatically cuts it. So anyhow, that was one I remembered. And anyhow, yeah. So for your propositional answer, you can give your version of the hair-blown sword.
Okay.
That's my contribution for tonight. For all my squirrel moments. This has been fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Well, it doesn't have to be over just yet. Although it is getting late-ish.
Yeah, I need to go to sleep because if I stay up, I'm gonna stay up way too late and have way too much fun and be burned out tomorrow.
How dare you, Ron? No fun for you. How could you?
I know. Like, dude, I'm burning the midnight oil, but I don't mind. This is worth it. It's I can still be human tomorrow. It's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So with Matthew's thing, with his, is he against evil but for formlessness, or is formlessness evil?
What
And what do you guys get on him?
the concern that I have is that he's misconstruing formlessness for evil. And like one of the
Okay.
things that I haven't really talked about a lot because I don't know how to really bring in pop culture to TLC conversations, but
Yeah.
like trying to address, and oh, Grizz just popped back in. That is perfect timing. Trying to address why I find Has Been Hotel so compelling.
It's the sex cartoons.
Yes. Because clearly that's the thing that I would be only interested in as far as that goes. But yeah, like there's, oh gosh, oh that's so frustrating.
It looks like you failed to solve the puzzle again.
I did in a way that's really annoying. Oh,
See, now this is
man.
almost as good
I
as a
don't-
debt.
I don't know why you feel like you can't bring pop culture into TLC space.
Well, it's
Just-
more
just
that I don't want to
snag
talk about
a couple
something that
buddies.
nobody's gonna have context for.
Anything on Netflix and Amazon and whatnot is legit, as established by the Blue Church pastor.
Yeah. I mean, just grab a couple buddies to watch with you. I will have when I
Well-
have time, I'll happily volunteer to be a guy who's like, yeah, I'll watch. And I've seen some of it. Like I'll watch it and we'll do a talk about like what can I crack the thing open. I'm like, that he just did 3 hours on Faust over 2 streams with
Okay.
Buddy Fist.
Well, how about this?
I haven't read Faust. I
I-
kind of halfway know. You can.
I already approached Foxman about the Amazing Digital Circus, so he's gonna watch episode 1 and see if it's worth his time. If you want to do that one, that would be a good one to do.
Okay. Yeah. I remember you pitched me on that one. It's come up a couple of times. Not just from you.
I'd say roll your savings throws, but I think you're better off with that one if you do the rosary instead.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, lots of thoughts, and like I said, like like Ezra is doing the right thing with his movie night, where it's like, hey everybody, go watch this ahead of time, and then we're gonna talk about it, because that's the way to make sure that you're at least having an audience that has the context to be able to engage meaningfully with whatever it is that you're talking about, instead of just like having a vague idea from like only whatever social media has fed you about whatever the thing is that you're talking about.
I think you're overcomplicating this a little bit. Like you can just
Yeah.
snag 2 people beforehand and be like, "This is the thing I want to talk about."
Who else wants to talk about this?
Especially if it's like you want to talk about the things the thing is about, and
Yeah.
the thing kind of gives you a means by which you can talk about those things. So even if they haven't seen the thing, you can still have interesting, productive conversations about what the thing is about.
Can I have a meaningful, productive conversation with you about making balloon animals?
No, because you can't do the thing. Like you lack the necessary baseline practices in order for it to be intelligible to you.
And I can't have a conversation with somebody about a piece of media if they haven't watched it. Gah!
And media is more abstract.
It is
You can
more
summarize
abstract.
it.
It's less of a constraint, but it's I would put it on like halfway between constraint. Like it's you can't talk about something without having watched it. You're just gonna look like a jackass
True.
if you do.
I mean, people do it on the internet all the time, man.
They do.
And I watch plenty of streams about like media I have not seen.
That is also fair.
It's fine.
It's
Fine. And some of them have been the trigger to make me watch the thing.
That's also fair, but I do try not to be a jackass when and where I can.
Mm-hmm.
Not always successful.
Maybe you should just like add to your whole like profile like playfully being the jackass in order to prompt people to watch things you think they should watch.
Hey, night, Ron.
Night, Ron.
Night, Ron.
Good night, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd at least like to have at least like one other person who knows what the heck. Like, I don't know.
I say this as all of my stream topics have generally been weird esoteric things referencing very obscure ideas and then trying to combine two obscure ideas that most people would not be familiar with into some weird exapted combination. So with that definition, I've been a jackass this entire fucking time, so yeah. That's gonna sit with me for the rest of the night. Thanks.
I'm just a lovely person. Skank. How many super special VIPs are coming to the pilgrimage now?
The
I'll
important
have to
questions.
double check.
How many
I'll have to
thousands of
double-
emails have you gotten?
Thousands of emails. I need to check and see what the status is. Finally back to a schedule where I have like weekends again, so I can keep up with my correspondence a little bit.
I've just been telling people to show up at the airport around noon, and you'd figure it out.
Yeah. And I don't know what they look like. I'm just gonna drive past them.
Be sure and email, folks.
By the way, I don't know how it would necessarily be feasible, and I don't want people to make plans around it because if the weather isn't good, then I'm not going to end up sailing. But I went out with a friend this morning to do a test run and broke some shit that I'm going to have to now fix. But the intent is to sail up to Squim on the 7th of August. So,
Rad.
if somebody wants to join and like the
Drowned on the way?
yeah, drown on
They
the
can
way.
drown
We'll
on
throw
the
you
way?
off the boat and drag you behind it. We'll keel haul you. So,
Just make sure you fix stuff while you're down there.
and we will still need to figure out firewood logistics as far as that goes. If I am gonna end up sailing, so I don't know if we can like pre-position stuff up at the John Wayne Resort, or if they would not be happy about that.
We'll figure it out. It's not going to be super much of an issue because part of it's like there's the whole thing before the thing because Matt C is going to be in town for like the whole week hunting and stuff, and so I will be up there for a little bit during my standard Monday Tuesday weekend. So I'm going to be in the area like Port Townsend. It's all day Monday, all day Tuesday. So
okay.
I will probably use some of that time to make sure we have the logistics we secured, and I can either talk to the John Wayne folks and see about stashing them a day or two early, or I think the folks Matt C is working with, he said that, yeah, they're game to hold stuff for us for a day if we need them to. So I'm not worried, like in the list.
Did you say rich people could go to the John Wayne Resort nearby?
No, that's where we are going. We are the rich people. Maybe we're not the rich people, but we are going to the John Wayne Resort.
That a secret? Because that's the first time I've heard of like such
No,
an
it's
It's on the
poster.
flyer.
Yeah.
Oh, flyers.
Yeah.
You think Grizz can read?
Speaking
I
of
guess it
reading,
is.
when's
It
the zine
is on
coming
us
out?
not actually putting like a picture of like John Wayne surfing in there or something. That feels like we should do.
Oh, that was a missed opportunity. You're right. Fuck. Next time.
So are you starting to release stories from the next zine dispatch with the detectives I've heard so much about?
That is also part of the plan. It's been a complicated week.
Speaking of complicated, Joy has a question for you, Matt, of if you followed up with me about Deacon Seraphim's conversation on Reveille.
What? Follow up with you?
Apparently.
What?
That's what she said.
What? Why am I following up with you? What did I say?
I don't know. I was assuming that she was referencing a conversation she had with you on a different stream that I just wasn't aware of.
I mean, I kind of like spammed his comments quite a bit. You can't be liable for things I say in the hive mind. That's especially when I'm the only one there.
Joy is being your
Never
accountability
the
stalker.
only
How
one
about
there.
that?
They're being watched. They're always being watched.
I think she was the one that sent me over there anyway. I saw her
Okay.
say that. I was like, oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah,
But
in light of cybernetics.
I don't know.
and
Is there? What was I supposed to do? What was I supposed to say?
automata.
Do they maintain their high binds? I can go back and look at.
No. Apparently, how about this? I'll just go watch the video and then we'll figure out what to do with it from there.
Yeah.
Which, let me just pull that up on a tab so I don't forget.
Yeah, we'll say detectives are kind of in the air. The guy they talked to before they talked to Deacon Seraphin, James Poulos, they talked about detectives quite a bit in their previous episode. And I just found another. Thanks.
We have the tab. It will be viewed later. This ain't the Afriel Pilot's School for Grims that can't read good. I think it's just the Grims that neglect to read. It's not that they can't read good, they just choose not to.
My eyes are going. Too much screens.
I feel that. I feel that in my soul. Not the eyes going bad, the too many screens thing. Well,
is anybody else going to Sacramento? I got my ticket.
I'm thinking about it, but I'm planning to visit family the weekend before, and we have Cabin Con the weekend after.
Yeah.
I don't know how difficult I want to make October for myself, and
You sound full enough, man.
I feel about as good going to California now as I do Canada. So it's a hard one to make.
Oh.
It's not a bad spot. You're away from the crazy in Sacramento. Well, we're mostly away from the crazy. It's not.
You show up early, we can go to Yosemite.
Yeah.
Or stay late. Anyway, I'm probably going to go to Yosemite at some point. Because it's, I think, 2 hours away from Sac. I don't know.
It's pretty close by.
Yeah, I did the trip a year or two ago.
Well, one of the things that I kind of wanted to do, and that got thrown about, I think it was Rick was saying to want to do like a motorcycle rally in conjunction with the estuary event. And I'm down for that, but I can't take that much leave in October.
Yeah.
Because it's a ride down from up here, so.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you're full up.
Yeah.
And
I still kind of want to fly down just for...
Say, it sounds like there's like 1,000 different like conferences next year, so we're gonna have to start mortifying our sense of FOMO and just being like, I'm not going to anything or everything. I'm not going to everything or
I'm
anything.
not going to anything until I've solved this puzzle.
This puzzle's not getting solved right now. I had that break and I was just like, nope, we're not doing this right now.
All right, well, I'm out.
Okay.
See you guys.
Hi, Chris.
Yeah.
Well, before we go, what conferences? Because I haven't heard of anything, but
it just sounds like there's a lot going on. New York wants to do one. Chicago's apparently trying to do like a big one.
Okay, like another big one, or like a bigger one.
Like another big one. I think they're trying to. I don't know. Based on what PBK said in his like Sacramento announcement, he's like they're trying to outdo themselves.
Okay.
Which. Okay, cool, interesting, rad, but also, I don't know, challenging when you're not the only thing going on.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I mean, last time, so.
I mean, the good thing would be to shift that to, like, having regional events that other people can come to and have that be the sort of understanding where it's like, maybe not doing other regional events at exactly the same time, but you don't have it's not like Thunder Bay. It's not like the earlier estuary events where it's like if you don't come to this, you're just not going to see anybody.
Uh,
Like breaking it
it's,
up and making it.
I mean, judging from all this, it seems like we're at a growth point.
Yeah.
And so part of the question is, are we actually as big as we think we are based on all the big things we're trying to do?
Well, I mean, we'll see if Nate ends up pushing through the Orcas Island conference that he wants to do.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. That would be fantastic. I think he said
absolutely.
27.
Yeah, no.
Am I remembering that correctly? That he said 2027 is when he's thinking about for that?
Oh, okay.
Because he said you had to reserve it like a year in advance, so it's definitely going to be a thing if he wants to do it.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, definitely be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Again, it's nice that we live in one of the. Again, we're still very Pacific Northwest, so we're just kind of chill, introverted, keep to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But we are a powerhouse.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's the fun thing with that is it's really just having a core group of people that met for long enough to start encouraging other people to come join us. Like I'm super psyched to have Cosmic Muffet come out and join us again, and Jason's been a staple. So it's like,
oh yeah,
like, and it just took you, me, Foxman, and my friend meeting often enough to have other people be like, oh hey, they're like doing a thing. Let's maybe go and join them.
we need to give your friend just an internet legible title.
Yeah, so I
That
just
way-
stopped saying my friend.
My friend.
My friend. I'm actually gonna text him
All
right
right,
now
well,
before I forget.
We'll talk about it over the campfire. Figure out what.
Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll still message him, but it might be more of like a.
Yes. I mean, if he wants to come up with his own moniker, we'll happily adopt it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the whole like. I don't know. It's the weird thing. Technically speaking, you're not supposed to be able to choose your nickname. It's supposed to be given to you.
I mean, yes.
I mean, it's different. It's different.
Well, maybe that's a thing that you do if you come into TLC through Estuary, if you come into TLC through like the campfires and stuff, then you can be given a nickname and then use that. But
I feel like it's more an interesting, I don't know, like meditation on how the internet's different from real life. Or typically in real life, you are given a nickname, whether you want it or not.
Yeah.
And the internet is.
You're sort of forming a personality that you're them. Or
Exactly.
prolificity, I should say.
He wants.
Not a fan of the term. Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to August, and I'm looking forward to trying to sail for August, and then October, even if it is going to be busy, and then we're gonna have to figure something out for December. I don't know. Because you're doing August, Slack's doing October, so it's either going to be me or Foxman.
I feel like
December?
we should just jump December into January.
Okay.
So it's January this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like typically like the back half of December I'm gone.
Yeah.
I assume that's probably the case for most folks anyway.
Well, it was going to be early December, if anything. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to do something, or honestly, maybe just do like a oneer. Find a day to hang out somewhere, something like that. Rather than, we should just do a Christmas party.
Actually, yeah, we should do like a Christmas estuary ham thing.
Yeah, that's what we should do. Then,
also,
it's-
my friend has zero internet OPSEC, so.
Yeah, well, that's why we're doing this for him. We're not gonna
read the chat. My friend has zero internet OPSEC.
Okay.
Sir. I mean, there's plenty of other folks floating around with their real names, so it's not that big of a deal. But
That's true. They use my government name to buy a ticket for PBK. So.
Well, and if we're doing any sort of like Venmo or whatever between each other, then it's like, sure, it's not
Oh,
public to the
gosh,
internet,
yeah.
but
Uh-huh.
any one person in the network could expose anyone in that network. So
Yeah. No, I made the mistake of not doing a full private transaction when I chipped in for my piece of the Kumbaya house in Chicago.
yeah,
And just like as soon as I paid, somebody else commented like, "That's a great da 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 da." I'm like,
yep.
did this myself, I guess, but
Well, and I think that there's a degree to which, like, I mean, I've said it before. The only reason that I'm going by a pseudonym online is really just to act as a first line of defense. Like, it's easy enough to dox based off of plenty of the details that I've given previously. So, like, I'm not really a private individual if somebody wants to put in the effort. It's more like to be a first line defense against trolls who want to do some crazy stuff. But another thing, by the way, that I would love to talk about is, do you know Flesh Simulator?
no.
Okay.
I feel
Pretty
like you. Go ahead.
prolific guy on Twitter, and then he's done a lot of really interesting documentaries on YouTube.
Okay.
Like a lot of conspiracy oriented stuff, but like backing it up with lots of documentation. He got like gang stalked by a bunch of crazy Twitter lefties for a pretty extended period of time, and he fought back against them and seems to have more or less won, but like with a lot of personal life injuries as a consequence.
Jeez.
If it's not just all kayfabe, which there's the possibility that that's the case, but I'm inclined to believe that it's true. So
I have been found once at work by somebody who's like, have you been on a PVK live stream before?
you look familiar.
I mean, again, like a PVK live stream from work, and I was at work at the time in my tourist trap spot. So
Yep.
And again,
I mean,
like, that's all.
That's kind of cool, though. Honestly,
She was very cute.
are you gonna meet your significant other through PVK?
Gosh, I sure hope.
The corner. What would like a corner dating app or a corner like? Because there's been a lot of people who have found significant others through like bridges of meaning, etc. I don't know if there's ever been like a term coined for it though. That would be really funny though. That would be really funny.
I don't know. It feels like I'm sure there is. It's just amongst the first generationers.
Yeah, that's true too. More when there was like Discord hangout calls happening more frequently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm probably gonna call it for tonight. You got any final thoughts?
No, I don't think so. By the time I actually jumped on, we moved so far afield from your psychotechnology, cybernetics, or whatever.
It will be its own stream topic at some point. I promise. That's one that I
was
really
gonna
want to
say,
talk about.
No, I mean, there's a certain sense in which like human beings are like cyborgs.
Yep. Like that's the only way that we do exist is by being cyborgs. Like you can't exist without a certain degree of cyborgness.
Yeah, there is. Shoot, there's a book that was released recently by like a Catholic feminist that gets into this from a different way. Where it's called like the dignity of dependence or something like that, which is basically sort of like pushing back on like girl boss feminism by looking at like the fact that we are so dependent on others when we're born, and that is so kind of like key to who we are as people. So it cuts into a certain like harsh, rigid kind of like individualism, recognizing we're interconnected and fundamentally so.
Yep.
And as you're pointing out, that's not just infants are dependent on their parents for life, but then that becomes like we also become dependent on larger and larger things, and that mother's dependence upon children, which also like in the Bible is used as something about like the soul's dependence on God as well, which one-to-one things between that relationship with the divine.
Mm.
There's also probably some arguments that like idolatry is a different sort of like dependence that gives you boots and takes we're cyborgs. I think that's pretty fair to say.
Mm.
So how we cyborg is really, really important.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's also like the thing that I'm trying to get my head around, and the reason why it's like psychotechnological cyborgs is like when you think of a cyborg, you think of like the Teen Titans character, for example, where a significant portion of his physical humanity was replaced with cybernetic implants or machine parts. And so when you think of a human being, it's like, oh, like it's a hairless thing with two legs, right? But like you have 10 fingers, you have 10 toes, you have 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, a torso, internal organs, muscles and connective tissue, putting it all together. And like if somebody loses a limb, you can have a prosthetic, and then that's a sort of cyborgness. But then there's a question of when somebody is like wearing something like a glove, and not like clothing for sure, and an actual glove, but when I use a drill or when I use a saw, I am extending myself into that tool to a degree.
Yes.
Like I am wearing a drill shaped glove. I'm wearing a saw shaped glove.
Yeah.
And so I am temporarily becoming a cyborg, and then I release that thing, and it's no longer part of me again, and I'm able to then grab other things. But I don't know that we have a proper understanding or description about incorporation and then deincorporation of cybernetic, and cybernetic might not be the right word, and I need to finish reading Norman Wiener's book. Like, oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good.
Okay. Is it? Okay.
And like I don't know how he's going to bring in control theory exactly, but like these sort of like the things that I've seen in the rough sketch of like first order, second order, third order systems, it's like, okay, yeah, like there's something here. There's something here for sure. But yeah, like how do you properly conceive of whether something is a part of something or not in relation to its dependence on that thing? Like the human being is in the garden. The garden is not part of the human being, and yet the human being cannot exist in isolation from the garden.
It's I'm not sure you can quite say the human being is not. I get that it's part of like the cyborg, especially if you want to have like you read that as like symbol metaphor, for that is telling you kind of mythological truth about like a deeper kind of evolutionary process. There could be some sense in which like the introduction of certain apes into a specifically cultivated garden was the mean, like a sort of like optimal environment, was the mean by which they were uplifted beyond the level of animal.
Right, but the point that I'm trying to make isn't so much that, it's more that like a human being can't exist in the vacuum of space.
Right.
Like the only way that you even in a short term, like not counting the fact that like you need to reproduce and you in order for the species to continue, and so a human being cannot exist in isolation. A human being can only exist in relation to a mother and a father, and then can only persist properly by coming into relationship with either a man or a woman, depending on whether the individual is a woman or a man, and then procreating, and then those children must also be in relation, and they must be in relation to other men and women who are not of their mother and father, or you get inbreeding and craziness. Like they're you can't like, and I don't know if that's necessarily true for all beings in existence, but or like the degree to which that is true for all beings in existence, but there's definitely an aspect in which, like humans particularly, we do not exist in isolation. We cannot exist in isolation.
Yeah.
And so it becomes a question of like, okay, well, how do you draw the boundary of what it like? What is the human then? Like, do you include all of the things that are required to have created the human in order like that like all of the human's ancestors are part of the human in an integral way, or is there some like how do you understand or define the separation between the selves that are the ancestors and the self that is the immediate human being, and then how do you also define the separation properly between the human being as they exist as an individual and the surroundings that have to exist in order for them to maintain their basic biological functions, the air that they breathe, the food that they eat, the water that they drink. Because obviously the garden is not the human, but
right
when is the prosthetic the human?
I mean,
like, do you see like that? I think hits the nail.
It's the Captain America like transformation chain injected with the name chemicals and turned into the super.
Yep. Yeah, that's a really good point with it. Yeah, and that ties in with.
And again, like this is like imagine like if you start off with what is it game one, which is where like service to self, where you've got primates in their animal stage and they're like purely playing the survival game, and one of them stumbles into a place where suddenly they're set free from scarcity or set duty, but done so in a way that's not like toxic to you. Like you're not in a zoo, you're in a place of optimal everything.
Pardon the Claudism, slight pushback. I would say that the ape is the thing that exists prior to the understanding that there is a decision to be made between service to others or service to self. That it's not like there is an element to which there is like the service is oriented towards the self, but it's not done so like it's because it's related
with animals. There's no distinction between service to self and service to others.
Well, the way that I would try and explain it is with yin and yang, it's receiving and giving, and so but there's not. So there is always receiving and giving. Like that's part of the nature of interaction with reality, but service to self is the deliberate choice to construct reality around you in such a way where you receive way more than you have to give. And service to others is the orientation towards reality where you realize that the only way to sustain reality is to give at least as much as you receive.
Okay, so this is something different from just an animal living in like survival.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Because it's I guess in one sense, like there is service to self and service.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Self-survival. Oh, because I guess both the service to self and service to others, both of those are like survival games. Just one is about social survival, the other is about self-survival and expenses.
Kind of, but not like.
I am gonna go through the material one of these days.
Okay, like it's.
I've got like there's like 5 different like books on my shelf.
Yeah. No, I
kind of want to like fill. No, specifically to kind of like considering who is coming to the pilgrimage in a month. Like certain things I want to kind of be like chewing on in the interim. So I've already got a reading list of what it means.
Okay. Well, it is a long one and it's very dense, and roll saves against mind control, because there's a lot of it that is presented in a way, like, they're not trying to present it in a way, but just the way that people tend to engage. Like, one of the things that was kind of eye-opening for me was watching some folks doing a conference about the raw material and the way that they were treating it functionally as scripture. And I was like, no, you shouldn't be doing that. What are you doing? Like,
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. Part of me, you can also kind of like notice the ways I'm trying to interact with this. Like, part of me feels like, from the what I've heard you kind of talk about this, it seems like just a group of folks who have some bout of inspiration, could be alien inspired inspiration, and they're trying to articulate kind of like the shape of the moral universe in new language. So that's kind of my fundamental approach to this.
Yep.
And so it's just I have my sort of like academic frame, which is pretty. I think it's a pretty solid sort of protector against this.
Okay.
I'm not super duper, but duly noted. We'll take it into account.
Thank you.
Dip in.
Because while I don't agree with Mathieu as far as the I wish I kind of want him to, if I ever got the opportunity to talk with him, that would be one of the things that I would ask is how do you conceive of formlessness? You're clearly not conceiving of it as inherently evil, but there's this, like, what exactly is your understanding of it, like, because you're talking about magicians are doing this and they're doing it for bad. Is there any way that someone could do this and have it be for good? Is there any way that that's possible? Or like, if someone, because this is where I'm really at with it. If someone gets dragged into formlessness,
what took this to your front of your mind? Do you see like tweeting or watch a vid or?
Ron sent me a video of his recently.
Okay.
Yeah. But like, if you have someone who gets dragged into formlessness, and let's just say they watch some Peterson videos and that helps them out to get out of that formlessness.
I mean, part of me feels like it's not quite the same thing, but there's the Petersonian kind of like balance of order and chaos, and you wanna have an adequate like a proper calibration of both, and it's not 0 and 100. Yeah. So like too much formlessness is kind of like falling too far into chaos.
Yeah. Well, and that's also. Well, that's why I think Grizz has the instinct that he does, and why I tend to have the instinct that I do, where it's like, I don't know how much you guys should necessarily be listening to me. Like, I appreciate the fact that but it's like I am playing on edges of things. I'm playing with things that I don't necessarily know what the outcome is going to be, and like, if I was doing that, like, and this is the thing, is like, what is responsible in that context? Because like, do you know Witch Hat Atelier at all? Have you come across that one?
No.
Okay, it recently got turned into an anime. The manga's been out for a while. It is really, really good. There's some really important defense against the dark arts stuff that gets talked in it. And one of the things, I think I posted it to the Dada materials on Grizz's Discord, is like a couple of pages where one of the inventors that lives in the atelier, which it's like there's one mentor guy, and he's mentoring like 4 or 5 young girls, and then he has like not a supervisor, but like a chaperone kind of guy who's generally doing his own thing, but still is like keeping an eye on things, making sure everything's copacetic. And he's trying to create something for a festival, which is like a fire that doesn't burn. And then he's talking about how, this is actually not a great invention. And the girls are like, why? It's a fire that doesn't burn. That's fantastic. And then one of the girls is like, no, that's like, I can see why. It's because if you have a child who is handling this artifact, they're going to learn that fire is not dangerous and fire does not burn you because this fire does not burn you. And then they're going to interact with fire and they're going to get burned. And so creating this and giving it to people is an irresponsible thing to do because it's going to cause them to come into wrong relation with the rest of natural reality. And so that's kind of the concern that's at the back of my mind is like I am spitballing a lot of stuff. Am I spitballing things that are going to potentially be dangerous or hazardous for people in their raw, relatively uncultivated form?
I don't know. Maybe you're just sticking to the training list.
Sticking to the what?
Like you're sticking, you're all the things you're spitballing. You're still kind of hanging out the kiddie pool and not really dropping the deep tracks.
Well, and
At this point.
there are a lot of like deeper tracks that I keep in my in my show ideas list that are probably not going to see the light of day for that very reason. But there's still the question of like, am I being too open? Am I talking about things too forwardly? So I don't know. I don't think I am. I think I'm on the right side of it, but it's definitely something that I keep in the back of my mind to make sure that I'm not stepping over lines that I ought not to be.
I feel like it's one of those. If that's a concern that's front of your mind, then you're probably operating with generally the right amount of caution. Because again, like sometimes you want to fall a little bit on the wrong side. But I can't recall too many like second infill hazards that you talked about.
Yes. Not on stream, at least.
Right. Yeah.
Campfires are another story.
Sure.
But then you know your audience. Like you have a constrained audience in that case. Like you know what you can talk about without causing harm because you know what other people.
Jeez, I remember. What was it like the? Not the whole like, but the one before. Like you were something was like, I can't say this. And me and Noah were like trying to drag it out of you. Like we're fine, just say it. You can handle it. And then he said it, and we're like, what? You worried about that? Like,
When I don't know, and this is part of it too is profilicity. It's like I don't want to be somebody who is causing problems in certain ways. Like I have enough respect and whatnot towards the Christian faith that I don't want to needlessly deconstruct other people. And I don't want to say things that are going to just do nothing but annoy and frankly piss other people off who believe in certain things more strongly than I think that they ought to. Because I think that even though they do believe in certain things more strongly than that I think they ought to, I think that they're still moving in generally the right direction, even like within my own definitional frame. And so it's like, if they're moving in the right direction, why would I even want to interrupt that? Like, yeah, maybe it'll take them a little longer going the way that they're going than the way that I think they should be going, but like, who am I to say what the way that they should be going in the first place? Like,
yeah, that's a pretty fair summation of, more or less how I see you as well. And yeah, like to my mind, like all of our fire conversations have been insanely generous.
Yeah.
And it's because of sort of like the great disagreements. Yeah, no, like honestly, my favorite thing is for you to say something like, you believe that more strong than I think you should. Like that's, I mean, like, don't do it in like a Reddit atheist way that's just like, I'm here to pop all of your bubbles.
Have you thought about this?
The other thing is just like part of the reason why this is so much fun. So, like I said, like gender is just we can't see each other. I can't see my blind spots. You can't see your blind spots.
Yep. Well, I think part of the magic of it too is and I don't think it's like unique to us by any means. I think that anytime you get a couple of people sitting around a campfire together who genuinely want the best for each other and are like just trying to work through stuff. Like it's not like one of the things, and I know Grizz was ragging on me for talking to Claude too much, but I definitely did appreciate an admonishment that Claude gave me as from one of our conversations. Is like, you're talking about all this stuff. Go sing at your stupid campfires. Like, make sure that you're making time and making like that's part of the sort of like event program. Like, yeah, you've got to deal with heavy stuff. You can't just like put that off, and having a place where that stuff can actually get digested when it's not able to be digested hardly anywhere else in people's lives. It's important. But also, don't forget to make time to be joyful.
Yeah.
To remember and focus on and understand like what are we trying to build towards? Like, it's not just about trying to solve bad things. It's like we're trying to solve the bad stuff so that we can enjoy the good stuff. Like, it's not just about, it's not, the focus is not on the bad stuff. Shouldn't be.
Yes. Somebody sent me an Arthur, like the philosopher Schopenhauer quote, as sort of a response to like, I found this really inspiring. And my first gut reaction is like, Schopenhauer was an edgelord. Everything he says is he like fundamentally cut himself off from some of the core of human life. He might have some insights, but he got those insights at great cost, and they should not be ingested to strengthen the interest.
Yeah, I feel like that's a big thing that's missing in a lot of
Also,
philosophy departments.
Don't push your mother down the stairs.
No, that's generally not advisable. But like a lot of philosophy departments.
Well, I mean, this is back to the cyborg thing. I think philosophy is kind of doubling down on a particular mode of thinking that gives you certain insights, exacts a certain cost from you.
Well, the one thing that's an incredible frustration for me about a lot of philosophy departments is that they talk about the ideas of the individuals without talking hardly at all about the personal lives of those individuals and essentially what those ideas, how those ideas caused them to live. Like, do you really want to be a weird degenerate? Like, do you really want to, like... And it's like, oh, but the ideas have truth and falsehood independent of the thinker. And it's like, yes, to a degree. But you should be holding them a little bit differently depending on what the motivations based off of the patterns of life that the person had. You should...
One, I agree. Two, I think certain branches of certain philosophy departments do kind of take that sort of stuff.
Okay.
You might argue that like both philosophy departments probably take it too much into account. There's the whole we can't separate the art from the artist. And it's just a weird human factor that like sometimes divine truth is channeled through fucking degenerates.
Broken clocks, man.
Broken clocks.
Yeah. Well, I will still keep it as a stream topic because I do want to talk more about technological cyborgs. But that was a good little conversation.
Yes. Yeah. And again, like the fact that it ties into uplift, I think is which we got into. Yeah. I mean, it's good. Yeah, probably 3 streams worth of material.
Well, I got a dog to go walk. And I don't even know if there's anybody still listening in because chat has been very quiet for quite a while.
See, I'm like one watching, and it might be me trying to see if anyone's chatting. All right. I'm going to stick around backstage after you kill the stream just for a minute.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, Sandy's here. Okay. Huh. Thanks for tuning in the whole time, Sandy. I appreciate it.
Hi, Sandy.
And for anybody else who's watching the replay, Goodbye then. Be safe, friends. Don't you dare go hollow.